Okay, finally. I think stream might actually be working now. Oh my gosh. Holy God. That took way too long. Thank God. I mean, thank God. Thank Jason. Y'all understand that reference later. Anyway, Hugo think photos oh that didn't just okay. Yeah, photos. Uh just once. Hey, there we go. So, guys, welcome to stream today. Today's gonna be a fun stream, and you might be wondering, where the fuck, where the fuck is Hugo? Where'd he go? And ladies and gentlemen, this is Hugo right here, the beautiful man you're looking at right now. This is Hugo. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a complication where I spent until 5 a.m. to get this stream working, and then I wake up at 11 a.m. ish or 10:50 a.m. ish, and the Wi-Fi is just not working. I use a college Wi-Fi because, guys, by the way, I moved into college. That's why my background is completely different now. I'm in my college dorm now, and I moved in, and the Wi-Fi sucks lunatic ass cheeks. And unfortunately, that stopped me from using my camera. It stopped me from using my audio input for my mic. I couldn't hear anything from my PC, and I couldn't stream, obviously, which is the biggest issue. I've gotten 3 out of 4 of those things to work. I can now show my screen. I can now talk. Y'all can hear me, hopefully. Tell me in chat if y'all can hear me, because if you can't, then that would be really stupid. Wait, hold up. Can y'all hear me now? And, yeah. Unfortunately, the face cam is still dead. So what we're going to do is, I just took a picture of this 2 seconds ago, and this is going to be the stand-in face cam for here on out. Let's see. Can I transform this? Set as resize image. Let's see. How do I edit this thing? Hold up. This is not a streaming issue. I'm actually hold up. I need to flip the image real quick. I'm not sure how to do this on my phone. Edit. Image. Definition. No. Crop. Yes? Can I flip it? No, bro. Wait. One second. Okay, I got it. Hey, there we go. This is fucking stupid. Okay, so we unfortunately do not have a real face cam, so this will be a face cam for today. Look how beautiful I am. I know. Save all the applause for later. Ah, the good old tier list. The good old tier list, ladies and gentlemen. This took so long to get to this point. And unfortunately, we're going to have to spend a little bit of time on stream because I need to rearrange the tier list back to how it originally was. First, though, I need to add chat. Hey, chat. There y'all are in your beautiful little, cute little glory. Just like my cat ears. So, we're going to put this on the top, not next to OBS. And we're going to drag this outwards to about, I don't know, here. It's a pretty good spot. Since I don't have my face cam, we can put a little bit more space into this. Okay, so, as you might remember, the new strategy that we've adopted is we have a full tier list where we go all the way from 2016 to 2023, and we just merge all the 2023 levels into the full tier list, and then on the side, we're going to be doing a isolated 2023 ranking. You might be asking, why are we doing 2023 official since we already have finished Season 2 of Co-Creation? And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's a bunch of, not beta versions, there's a bunch of old versions of levels made by completely different people who I have to, like, go over first. Like, there's a lot of levels that I just haven't paid much attention to. For example, Fruity Paradise 1.0, Sugarfall 1.0, Polar Exploration 1.0. A lot of these levels are important in the ranking, and I have not seen them enough to make a full judgment on them. And I also do want to actually upload Polar Exploration 1.0 since it's never been uploaded with the actual Polar Exploration textures. So all I'm going to do is retexture it and then upload it. And then y'all will be able to see before that stream starts what Polar Exploration 1.0 was going to look like. But first, I need to open a tier list from the 2022 live stream. and I have to place all of these levels back to their original positions. It's gonna be a long one, guys. Yeah, okay, so we have the C that yeah, so I majored in college, and it's going great, actually. Most people are always stressed about like making more friends and whatnot, but I honestly made a lot of my friends in the orientation before college, and then I made a lot of friends during summer camp before college, and then I essentially made no friends when I actually got to college because I kind of had my groups already. So, I mean, it's kind of a plus and minus. Obviously, I'll have to make more friends when it comes to classes and stuff because I don't really know that many people in my classes, and nobody in my classes seem to really know each other either, to be fully honest with y'all. But yeah, it's going great. Classes are easy as shit. I'm not gonna like jump the gun because I know they'll get harder, obviously. But for now, like it's pretty light work. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. College is great. I didn't even know Frogby was in college until now. He just mentioned it off the wall, and I was like, wow, I ain't alone. Steam era, guys. This is going to take a long fucking time. I should have done this before, yes, but it was 5 a.m. Guys, give me a break. Christmas. This is just like it's not really a easy system. I guess I'll put chat up here and actually like put effort into it. Can I can I full screen this? Okay. Anyway. Oh, I can't shrink it all the way. That's kind of dumb. Okay, well, we can just squeeze this in like so. No, no, no. Come on, come on. Okay. Chat can go over here. Actually, hold up. Let me move this whole droid cam setup down. Hey, there you go. So now it works. Unfortunately, I might have to expand the thing. So let me see if everyone can actually hear me. Okay, that's great. Oh, that would have been embarrassing. So, let's see. We're at the 2023. Chat is misaligned. Well, oh, yeah, you're right. It's because I moved the droid cam thing. Jesus. Can I like I need to expand this a little bit. Uh, there we go. So now it should be a lot more spacious. Okay, great. So now we have a full chat. That's great stuff. Hmm. Let's see. 4th anniversary Christmas. So we have Neon Kepler Psychedelic Sunset. Neon. It's so hard to find the stuff because it keeps just rearrange every time I look. God damn it. Where's Kepler? Kepler. Psychedelic. Doug! It's like, why does my brain just shut down every time I need to look for it? Sunset Glow. Monody. Monody, Old Forest, Deep Space, something. In case you're wondering, yes, I have a roommate. He's called Jason. The curse of Andy and Lele struck once again. It might actually, the karma might be so bad that it might actually be carrying on into this live stream. Looking at that one optional video of like the romance route was one of the worst decisions in my entire life. Like whoever made that game needs to actually be investigated. And like that's not even the worst part of that game. There's more stuff in there. There's like cannibalism and stuff. It's a weird ass game. I don't know what the appeal is, but you know, people just have their kinks. Reggae. So you have City, Halloween, Tetris, Midnight Carnival. Halloween, Tetris, Midnight Carnival. Um Circus Spectre Halloween. Circus Spectre Remix. Halloween Night. This is a lot of people are saying, a lot of people think that this will be a long ranking, but it actually won't because I'm not ranking co-creation and I'm not ranking fan maids. So if you compare it, there's actually less levels than there was in 2019 or 2018. So yeah, what a bonfire. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's long story short, the Wi-Fi was fucked over, and my headset wasn't connected, and my droid cam wasn't working. My face cam is also still broken, by the way, in case you can't tell. So we're just gonna have this face stuck here the entire time. But at least everything else works. Um, yeah, and I have a new setup because I'm in my college dorm now because I'm in college. Alone, Ghost Warrior birthday party. Alone, someone grab Aiden Scott's one because we're like halfway there. Alone, Ghost Warrior. Golly on my. Okay, there you go. It's so hard to find levels because every time I grab one, it'll just rearrange the rest of them and I can't see it anymore. My brain just has a fart. Okay, let's see. Birthday, no. Beat Party, Virtual Egypt. Wait, did I say Virtual World was worse than Beat Party? Actually, yeah, it kind of is because the routes are genuinely kind of atrocious at times. But Egypt's routes are more atrocious, so that's why it's going under. Mental Sci Tech Monster City. Mental Sci Tech Monster Shitty. Bro, I remember when that was a nickname for the level because like people were just so tired of it because it was stuck there for like 2 years and a half, I think. So people just called it Monster Shitty. That was like the one piece of the Chinese community humor that I actually found funny. And then of course we reduced ourselves to Happy Ball. And like a lot of people are saying things that like kind of blow my mind. They're like, no, Declan, you don't understand. This is just their style of humor. This is like just their kind of internet. You don't. No, 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 no. No. Shh, 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 shh. I have a lot of Chinese friends, both online and in real life, and their humor is not like this humor from the Chinese community in this game. The people on that community are just weird. It has nothing to do with them being Chinese. The humor is just so goofy. Like they have a picture, like they do this thing all the time, where it's either Happy Ball or they have a picture of that panda thing, and then they put a realistic face on the panda, and they make the panda do goofy dances, and that shit is just not funny to me. And this is coming from a guy who will laugh at a trap fart remix, so you know that this shit is just not funny. Let's see, 8 bits, faded remix, mechanical power. The Alan Walker levels are the only thing that I can see because they stand out the most with their weird looking covers. You know, I actually low key I wish they did more like unusual covers. Like Trailblaze had an unusual cover. I like these like art style covers. I wish they did more. The only art style cover that I really don't like is A Dream of 7 Years. That just looks so fake and PowerPoint presentation-y. They could do way better. I also already noticed that the tier list is significantly yeah, we gotta like we gotta expand this a little bit. Move this up. Hey, there we go. Hey, we got the dude. Shut. Sorry, guys. Some people are spam calling me because they don't understand what a live stream is. Where do I go? I go to Texas A&M. It's a college in Texas. It's really nice. It's a really nice college. Uh, I joined because I heard it was a huge cult, and I was like, yeah, throw me into that shit. And it is. It is definitely a cult, guys. For anyone who lives in I know Rodri, SQDL. I think yeah, like if y'all want to go to an actual college, like I do recommend. Well, I recommend UT first, but like UT is more for like academic excellence. And no offense, but it's kind of a depressing college to go to. Like I went to that campus, and it just felt so grayscale and dead. It was like comparing the campus I'm in now to UT campus is like comparing The Incredibles opening scene to the rest of the movie, where it's set place in like grayscale 1960s city. and it's just really depressing. Okay, SeaWorld Alone Remix, Marshmallow Alone. SeaWorld, guys, I'm sorry. Where is SeaWorld? God. Oh, yeah, there it is. Alone Remix, Marshmallow Alone. How long is the stream gonna be? I think I want to say like 3 hours, but it might be 4 hours because every time I say that the stream will be on for a certain amount of time, I always end up yapping longer. But I also basically what's happening is that I uh I was initially gonna live stream yesterday because I have Friday off every single week of school. Like I don't have school on Friday, which is great because I just made my schedule that way and I don't have too many classes. So I was thinking about streaming on Friday, but then I was like, no, because everyone else, or at least majority of the audience, will probably have school on Friday, or they're just coming back from school. And again, that's why I always live stream in the morning because the time zones are just fucked. But yeah, so I just have to keep streaming on Saturday. I guess I could do Friday, but then that would alienate a lot of the Western audience. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to balance it. Because most people who stream stuff, like especially the most known ones like Moist Critical and like Asmongold or Hassan Piker and whatnot, like they have their audiences set in a mostly centralized locations. Whereas with this game, like people all over the world play it, so it's really hard to hone in what time the audience is awake and asleep. Illusion, Joker, Kung Fu, Cube. Illusion, Joker, Kung Fu, Cube. Did I say Joker is better than Kung Fu? Hell nah. Kung Fu's going up there. Wait, what? No, Cube is better than Joker. What am I saying, dude? I mean, guys, that's just the thing that I've been doing every single live stream. I will, like, just remember a ranking that I did before, and I'll just randomly decide to switch it because of preconceived notions about these levels. Yeah, I don't even know what kind of mentality had to happen. Oh, I think Joker must have been way higher, and then I moved it down and down, but I didn't move it far down enough. Okay, Gospel, Dazzle, Laser, Shadow. Dazzle, Gospel, Laser, Shadow Warrior. You guys are almost there. We're almost there. No, don't leave. Don't leave me yet. How many people are even watching right now? Wait. Let's see. 43. That's actually pretty good overall, considering I'm not even doing anything right now, and I'm just putting the original list back together. That's pretty impressive. I remember there was a time when I like shot up all the way to like 150, and I have no idea how that happened because then it immediately went back down to like 80, and like that was just very strange. I don't know how 70 people just randomly popped on and popped off. Okay, Ignite, Cloud, Spring, Candy. Ignite, Cloud, Spring, Candy. Yeah, Spring Festival is dog shit. I don't think there's many contingents on that. Did I say Sky was that bad? I'm moving Sky up. Wait, what? Okay, Sky is better than Candy. It's better than Spring Festival. It's better than Cloud. It's not better than Ignite, because Ignite just has better objects and textures. But Sky, like, needs more merit. Trick or Treat. You see, I actually hate Trick or Treat. I can't get through it, but the routes aren't terrible, so I can't give it dog shit. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that the entire level sucks. It's really just the song, but the textures and objects are good, so I have to give it a pass. Ghost Dance, Tropical Tides, and Goblin Town. In case y'all forgot, I ranked Goblin Town at the very bottom of It's Bad. I knew it was gonna be at the very bottom of It's Bad the entire time before I even started doing these live streams, and that is because Goblin Town is a very, very bad level. It may be the worst level ever created by the official developers, but it was made with a lot of heart and a lot of intention, and they really did try their best, so it just can't go in dog shit. It doesn't work for it to go in dog shit. Like I said, I'm ranking this based off of, like, everything in the level, not just, like, the routes, textures, and whatnot, like, literally everything. And if they really demonstrate that they put in effort and whatnot, then I will not let that effort go unnoticed. So we're going to move everything just in the order so we don't get confused. So all these fan-mades will not be relevant for this ranking. Dino Valley, Lov-E, this thing. Hang on. Okay, yeah. Check. I might miss one of these levels because it just gets like too complicated after a while. Yeah, we'll be ranking the extra levels too. So I mean, I call all these extra bonuses. Technically, not all of them are extras. For example, Starfield is just the bonus of Deep Space because Deep Space didn't have a bonus before then. But on the other hand, Cobweb is an extra bonus because we already have one for Midnight Carnival. So it all depends. Eternal Journey. The fuck? Oh yeah, Flower Dance. Dude, there's so many levels here that people have just forgotten about. They've just faded out of relevance. Because like I don't know what it is. There's something about wait. How did Flower Dance what happened? Oh shit, I got the level order mixed up, didn't I? Sorry guys, 1 second. I need to check my description so I can see which level order is in which. Okay, so Flower Dance comes after Starfield. I don't know how that happened. Flower Dance, Eternal Journey, Day of the Dead, Cobweb. Wait, where's Day of the Dead? Oh, it's all the way over here. Flying Buns, Day of the Dead. Wait, Eternal Journey, Day of the Dead, Cobweb. What on earth is going on? Why am I so bad at this? Sweet Paradise, Falling Blossoms, Jack-O-Lantern, Otherworld, Mecha, Snowy Night. Jack-O-Lantern, Otherworld, Mecha. Dude, Mecha is great. We're not actually going to be ranking Tactic Core because that is a 2024 level, but most people think that it's not. And then, of course, we have New Year. Okay, so that's everything here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other tier list right here. So we're going to grab Jade Rabbit, Temple Fair, Tsunami. Oh my god, dude, I forgot about Tsunami too. Like, it's going to be a lot of old memories coming back. 2023 is weirdly long ago, but it feels very recent because Minimax still feels new because they still do a lot of dumb shit that most seasoned developers wouldn't typically do. Lov-E, Storms of Love, Love, Dino Disco. Shit, that reminds me. Actually, I'm going on a date later today. I forgot that was today. I thought that was tomorrow. Mystical Thing. I also have to sleep. Okay, guys. I'm hurrying. Wait. Eternal. It's because like the level organization in this tier list is just very confusing. So Flower Dance, the Eternal Journey, Day of the Dead, Cobweb, thing. Eternal Journey, Day of the Dead, Cobweb, thing, and then Falling Blossoms, right? Came after Sweet Paradise. Yeah. And then Jack-O-Lantern, Otherworld, Mecha, Snowy Night. Okay. Jack-O-Lantern, Otherworld, Mecha, Snowy Night. Dude, I'm actually like really hungry, but I don't think there's gonna be time for me to eat anything significant. Oh, guys, we're finally ready. We're ready. Chat, are you ready? I think Furnace should have had crowns. I think Furnace Rider wanted to use crowns, but then they were told, hey, by the way, Wizard of Oz doesn't have crowns, so he probably tried to jump on the hype train. But unfortunately, Furnace is not the best. For those of you who weren't on stream at the time, the reason why I'm not doing Co-Creation Season 2 right now is because I still need to look over a lot of the early versions of levels. For example, there's Polar Exploration 1.0, Sugarfall 1.0, Fruity Paradise 1.0, and Axelo Waltz 1.0. And I'm gonna rank those too, but I just haven't looked at them enough to make a judgment yet. And I will also upload an actual video of Polar Exploration 1.0, which y'all can see for yourselves. Who's it made by? I don't know. It's a Chinese guy, but I don't remember his name. I also think it's just a placeholder name anyway, so the real creator, I don't even know. What do you think of Cubicraft? We will get there in the 2025 ranking. Okay. What is chat saying? Hugo saying Asmongold before GTA 6. Okay, I'm not like under a rock. I watch other streams. The main stream I watch is this guy called Astral Spiff. He does a lot of FNAF content and like other kind of little known Steam games. He does a lot of Poppy Playtime too. Astral Spiff is funny as shit. And also, if you look closely at my face cam picture, on the left, there's that guy. He's called Pay Money Webby. He doesn't do games mostly. He's just kind of I think he's like half autistic or something, but he's very, very funny. I like him. His jokes are not fully well known, but I mean, when will I do 2024? I mean, like, I could just do Co-Creation Season 2 next weekend, but I mean, I want to space them out a little bit just because we have so much time before the end of 2025 when I do the 2025 ranking live stream, and we're probably going to run out of live streams to do before that point. So if we look at the calendar, we have this weekend, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we basically have 18 weekends before I do the 2025 ranking live stream, and we only have, I don't know, like 6 or 7 live streams to do. Unironically, that is the 6 or 7 live streams, and I think I'll just space it out between 2 weekends. So basically 2024 will probably be in a month or 3 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, enough fucking around. Are we ready, guys? Okay. Jade Rabbit is going in the Masterpiece tier, and it is, I'm going to put it right here. Jade Rabbit is a fucking masterpiece. I love Jade Rabbit so much. Jade Rabbit is low-key one of the greatest comebacks in Rolling Sky history. In fact, it's like one of the only comebacks in Rolling Sky history. But it was so great. It's not just because Goblin Town was the actual dog shit and then we finally got a real level, but it's because the level itself is just actually really, really good. The song is like a 9 out of 10. This coming from someone who thinks that F777 is like is not very good. He is a guy who makes like 5 good songs, and then the rest of them are just repetitive, boring, useless garbage. Like Gimme Snacks and like Falcon Stomp kind of falls into that category as well, I'm not gonna lie. And like Dino Disco, a lot of his songs are just really, really boring. Or like whatever the Mysterious Trail song was, which we'll get to later. But I've just never been a fan of his music overall. But every once in a blue moon, he will make a great, great song. And yeah, Fireworks 2 is really, really good. Or it might be Firecrackers 2. I forgot which song it is. But yeah, it's great. The textures and objects. Okay, the objects have this strange thing. I low-key suspect that the people who made those objects just never came back to do anything else. Or they might have done Horizon Cruise, and then they never came back to do anything else. Because Jade Rabbit and Horizon Cruise have this weird thing where the objects are super, super extra detailed. Like, no other levels have this kind of design style. Like, Just Fortress doesn't have it, Dino Disco, even Westland, it has really detailed objects, but it just doesn't get to the scale of Jade Rabbit and Horizon Cruise. Like, the modeling team for those 2 levels, they used like really, really tiny shapes. Like they really put a lot of effort into all these objects. Not saying other levels don't put effort, but the other objects are a lot smoother and more cartoony, whereas these are like hyper realistic. And I think it works and it doesn't work, because when it's too hyper realistic, it doesn't really fit too much, and the textures are also weirdly hyper realistic, where they seem to have like way better shading, but then it also kind of kills the video game-ness of the level. But either way, those do not come anywhere near close to the routes. The routes are just like perfect. Like, they're just genuinely perfect. I saw Square Root's like channel, and you can find maybe 3 or 4 routes that he incorporated from there all the way into this level. And these routes were made in 2021 and 2022 and whatnot. But he really used them perfectly, because you can't even tell when he uses them if you haven't seen the ones he made before. And yeah, Square Root, when I heard that Square Root was so busy that he just couldn't work on Goblin Town, they had to get a programmer to work on the level, I was like, okay, that's just really bullshit, and this level better be the greatest level of all time, because there's no way that someone has to actively abandon another level just to work on a different one. and it actually did pay off because clearly Square Root put probably more effort into this level than any other level he's worked on. Actually, he probably put more effort into Dino Disco, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, I know he actually did put more effort into Dino Disco, but like this level is like just really really great. The sync is perfect. The textures are like again the models and textures hyper realistic. Doesn't really work, but it can work, so that's why I like him. Music is great. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to say about this level because it's just really, really good. Oh yeah, I forgot about the mechanic. I don't like the mechanics like addition into the level. It just doesn't really work because the mechanic has the third theme, but it's not even a third theme. It's the exact same thing as the first theme, except the background is pink now. So what happens is that if you get all the buttons in Jade Rabbit, then it will just activate the third theme, but all you see is the background change, and I think the fog color changes as well, but it looks so odd. It's the same issue as Lighthouse Alley, where the fog color changes and like something else changes just a tiny little bit, but it's so minuscule to the point where it just doesn't even feel like a theme change. It's just really weird. So I don't really like the mechanics incorporation into the level, and I do wish that they actually put effort into making a real third theme, which again, yes, that would probably allow them to make a third bonus level, but I'd still want there to be an actually good third theme. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the cameos. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I used to initially not like the Kung Fu cameos in Jade Rabbit, but then I realized Kung Fu doesn't have a bonus level, and it's just really great to see these again, and it just combines really nicely to have, like, that nice return to Rolling Sky after, like, 2 years of just nothing essentially. Let me see. So 2020 and then 2022. Yeah. So we were gone from Link Sky for like maybe 2 and a bit years. That's a long fucking time. And yeah, the Kung Fu themes are really good. I like the second crown route. That's really clever. I just like the use of everything, really, to be honest. Like everything is just used really nicely. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. I also do like how in the build up before the final theme, it just feels really, really energetic. There's so many movers and whatnot, and it really fits with the music being like low energy, but it's just building up. And yeah, overall, it's a great thing. Anyway, Temple Fair. I used to not really like Temple Fair, but now I think it's all right. So I'm trying to think about where to put it though, because Temple Fair is just kind of it's just an okay level. I will put Temple Fair. Golly, where should I put this? I'll put it here. Like I think Temple Fair, like the textures aren't as good as Alone Remix or SeaWorld or Morning Dawn, but the song is also really good. TDX's first original song to the game, and I like it a lot. Temple Fair is a really beautiful sounding level. And of course, all the things I said about the textures and models apply the same thing here because it's the bonus level. And yeah, the only issue I have with it is the routes, really. Like, the routes are just kind of mid. I know, understand, yes, it's a 2 stars, they can't really do much, but the routes are just really odd to me. Like, for example, there's a time when, at the very beginning of the level, you have to go around a little hole, and then the tile in the middle falls, and usually when you use falling tiles, you have to use them in packs, so when I just see a single falling tile, it just gives off, like, weird vibes. It's like when you see a single block by itself. Like, there's certain objects that you can only use in packs. Whereas if you use them one single time, it just feels wrong. It's like, how do I put it? It's kind of just like if you have like a really blank wall and you want to decorate it, so you put a single painting there that just takes up like 1/100th of the wall, and then now you're kind of just left with that little dot in the middle of it, and then you have all those extra space with nothing on it. It just makes it worse than it would have been had you just not put anything on it. And that's how I feel about uh, Temple Fair. But still, I just like that's how I feel about Temple Fair's use of blocks and tiles. It's like it's supposed to be used in packs. If you don't use it in packs, it stands out like a sore thumb, and it doesn't work. But those are just little nitpicks of the level. Like the sync is kind of off as well. Like they try to sync it really good, and I appreciate that, but the sync just doesn't really work ultimately. The object usage just isn't as interesting as Jade Rabbit, especially those diagonal jumping red envelopes. Like they use those really nicely in the original level, so seeing them used in these like basic ways just wasn't really interesting to me. They also didn't use the dragon much. The dragon was a really cool obstacle because it was essentially just a recreation of the labyrinth snakes, and Jade Rabbit didn't use it aside from one single time at the very beginning, and then Temple Fair used it twice, but both times it was just completely irrelevant. So that really bothered me, I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Also, a lot of these collectibles are free, and this is an issue that I've never actually talked about before, but essentially what happens is that if you have an obstacle on a mover, and you move the obstacle over a void, but now the obstacle takes up that space, what happens is that the obstacle's hitbox actually disappears. Like, there is no hitbox anymore. So, like, if you move an obstacle on a mover, and it now covers over a void, you can just go right through it. And most levels, both Cheetah Mobile and Minimax, actually take this into account. They don't actually code it to fix the issue at core, but they fix it with like bandages and whatnot. But unfortunately, Temple Fair doesn't ever do that. There's so many instances of obstacles going over voids via movers, and you can go through all of them. Like it's so common that it is genuinely the one time that I'm gonna have to point it out as a problem. Like it's this level does that more than pretty much all other levels in the game, and then somehow they just forgot that you had to put invisible tiles in the place where the obstacles were gonna go, so that you can't just roll right through the obstacle. But what other nitpicks I have about this level? I guess the mechanic usage is better than it is in the original level, because of course the mechanic was made for Temple Fair, not for Jade Rabbit, so it makes sense that it's used better. But, oh yeah, I forgot about the Spring Festival cameo themes. Oh yeah, those are beautiful. No, like, I generally don't have a single complaint with the Spring Festival cameo themes. Everything about them is great. The collectibles are pretty good. I'm not really a fan of that one simple crown, but, it's not that big of an issue. And, yeah, I'm just glad that they finally got the spotlight that they needed, because, holy shit, Spring Festival was a really bad level, and it never even got a bonus. So, I'm glad that they brought those back. Fun fact. I think Square Root also routed this level, but a fun fact is that Minimax actually stole one of my ideas. I know it's a really egotistical thing to say, because I'm just one guy in the entire Rolling Sky community, and again, I'm not even part of the Chinese community, which is where the developer team is based in. But like, I know that they actually did steal one of my ideas, and I'm going to show it to you. We're going to do a little bit of self-promotion, and we're going to go on YouTube and look at my channel, and we're going to search up Rolling Sky. No, we're not going to look at Fission. Actually, you know what? Hold up. I'm going to search up more Rolling Sky music 1 hour. Also, I just realized my computer makes like not clanker, clicking noises. I'm going to get canceled for that in 30 years time. My computer makes clicking noises, and that was not the case before. Eternity soundtrack? Oh wait, no. Hussein Amberforce. I would really appreciate it if you made more 1 hour things. Foggy City, we've done that already. Fission, American football, hell yeah. You're welcome, GD Top Games, for the mini shout out. Is it too loud? I need to test that right now with my thing. Okay, well, I just need to, like, test again. Like, well, I just need to, like, talk over the music to see how loud both audios are. Testing? 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 Okay, well, I just need to, like, test again. I just need to, like, talk over the music to see how loud both audios are. Okay, great. Okay, good, it works. Because, yeah, I just don't want the music to be too loud. Anyway. So now we have that on the side. Can I, like, mini player that? Yeah, great. And now we need to actually go over to Fate, because I want to show you something. Oh yeah, by the way, I just watched Bad Guys 2 yesterday, and it was really, really fucking good. I'm not gonna spoil or anything, because, like, I feel like there's someone in there who actually wants to watch a movie but hasn't seen it yet, but my god, Bad Guys 2 is actually, like, really, really fucking good. I'm not saying that just because Diane Foxington is in it. I'm saying that because like the movie is like genuinely really good in character and development, and it just looks like a gorgeous movie, and the story actually makes sense, and it feels more like a sequel than I expected it to. I expected it to just be like, yeah, that's the first movie happened. Anyway, there's these new people you've never heard about before, and there's a new story, there's a new MacGuffin that you've never heard about before, and we're gonna do a thing that was never foreshadowed before, and we have these characters, and we're just gonna abandon the old ones because we don't know what to do with them anymore. But thank God, the movie actually knows like how to connect to the first one. Anyway, Fate Rolling Sky. Nope, there you go. That video has a lot of views. Goddamn. So look at what I built at the very end of this level. Do you not see it? It's fine if you don't see it. It's fine. So, what I did here is I invented, I'm being serious, I was the first person in the entire community to do this. At least I was the first person to do it and publish it online, publicly. For those of you who don't know, sliding tiles work in a way where they cover all 5 lanes of the thing. The only way to stop it from going all the 5 lanes, like I do right here, is if you place second floor sliding tiles on the side lane right here. So right here, there are 4 second floor sliding tiles, and that is how I stop them from sliding all the way. This is an invention which I came up with definitively, unless someone can find me a video on Billy somewhere. I'm pretty sure that I invented this idea, because I was just that kind of guy back in 2021. I was exploring a lot of crazy shit, and I discovered this, and I'm pretty certain that Square Root saw this, and he decided to do the exact same thing. Because in Temple Fair, if we go to Temple Fair Rolling Sky, Temple Fair, we will find that Square Root, or whoever routed this, does the exact same thing.
10 hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no.
Look. This is... Look at this. Watch it. Oh. It's almost like it does the exact same thing. I am convinced that Square Root saw what I did there, and he copied it. I'm not mad that he copied it. I'm glad that what I do is being put into the game. But I'm pretty certain that I was the first person to come up with this in 2021. I'm pretty fucking certain. I'd be very surprised if I wasn't. But anyway, after Square Root did it, then like Lab Confidential did it, and just a bunch of other levels ended up doing it. But the point is that I'm pretty certain I was the one who came up with this, and I'm very proud that an idea of mine is now in the game. And that isn't the only idea I've come up with. We'll get to more of those later. But for now, is Ion Bleeds in chat? Ion Bleeds, look in your fucking DMs. Okay, please, just please do it. I'm begging you. I'm actually begging you, bro. Please. Please. Okay, so yeah, my point is made. I'm pretty sure that my idea made it into the game. Let's have American football back. So Jade Rabbit is going up there. Temple Fair is going in okay. Dude, this is like an interesting beginning to 2023. We had like amazing, we had okay, and now we have pure and utter dog shit. Yes, I think that Tsunami is the worst level thus far in 2023's start. This is genuinely one of the worst levels I've ever seen. It is like abhorrently, insultingly, disgustingly, slimy, terrible. I hate this level so much. Oh my god, dude, I remember I recorded and I edited an entire video, like a 20-minute video, analyzing how Tsunami was just absolute, pure, unfiltered, unadulterated garbage. And I never uploaded it because it took too long to edit, to the point where my voice was so, like, high-pitched because it was recorded so long ago, and I don't want to upload it anymore, so I might have to just re-record it. but it was also kind of outdated because I said a lot of things without understanding how co-creation would work later or how fan-mades would work. I had no idea that this was even made by a fan-made team. This is made by Rolling Fan-Made. And so, yeah. Let me actually go on Google Docs and see if I have the original Tsunami script. By the way, my camera did not just break. I deliberately turned it off so that y'all can't see my Google Docs because I don't want any important information going on around. Tsunami is a bad level. Holy shit, yeah, it's yeah, wow. I even basically what I do when I write video scripts is I highlight parts in yellow, and those are the parts that I record with my face camera on. But I just looked really chopped back then anyway, so I don't really know what I thought I was getting myself into. But I'm just gonna read over it a little bit. Wait, huh? So I guess okay, yeah. So I was just reading the script for what I put on Tsunami. Anyway, I don't even know where to begin. I say this every single time. All of these 6 levels before then, we just took so long on these because I had no idea what to say because I just don't know how to even get around organizing my criticisms of these in a sensible manner. So, firstly, let's talk about the textures. Actually, no. Let's talk about the way in which this level was conceived and what it meant for the rest of the game following afterwards. This level was conceived because there's a thing that TDX does, where what he does is he will offer 2 different songs to Minimax. He will say, you can choose this song or you can choose this song. The songs essentially are completely unique. They have no similar melodies. Sometimes the tempo is different. And TDX will just make 2 songs, and Minimax will pick one, and they'll pay him for it. And Minimax can actually pick another one for another level and pay him for that, but Minimax hasn't done that yet. Anyway, the song composer of the Sea and Sea World composed 2 different songs for the bonus. They composed Sea World, and they composed the Sea Rock remix. Again, these songs were made together. It's not that one was made before the other. They were made together, and they were offered up to Cheetah Mobile together. And Cheetah Mobile decided, we like this song more, so we're going to use this song. And what happened is that a lot of people started picking up on this rock remix that was unused, and they started going crazy because they all believed that the rock remix was just way, way better. And there are many fan-mades that used this song. And Square Root was one of the people who believed that the rock remix should have been the real song used. And so Square Root made it his mission to incorporate a C rock remix level into the game now that he had the ability to. He goes up to Minimax and he says, hey, I want to add this level, the C rock remix. It's going to use the original rock song that everyone has always wanted. And I talked to Square Root about this, and he said that he wanted to add psychedelic music guitars, the electric guitars. He wanted to add lightning bolts. He wanted a red theme, because that would fit the rock remix aesthetic. And hopefully Minimax would allow him to add more different color themes. And it's funny, because if you look in the level routes, like the file with the level routes on it, Minimax does a thing for the programmers where they'll put a little marker. You can't see the marker in the level, but they'll put a marker there, and it always means to do a theme change. And you'll find that there are so many different markers in this level, implying that there were so many different theme changes. And again, I'm not a fan of theme change spam, but it would have been at least something unique to go by. And unfortunately, we didn't get any outside objects like lightning bolts and guitars. We did not get any red theme, or any other color themes for that matter. What we got instead was the exact same theme as the original C, except the background is hue shifted by 10%. I tested this myself. It is exactly 10% hue shifted. It's like sorry. How the fuck does this happen? How do we have, how does a level just get reduced all the way from the C rock remix all the way down to just, this, what the hell we got? Tsunami is a 1-star, and I don't know if y'all understand this, but when you have a level that has a song with a lot of energy, you can't make it a 1-star Because if you make it a 1 star, it will feel extremely slow and it'll drag the song behind because the song is just way ahead of the rest of the level. The same issues shown in like VR Fairyland. VR Fairyland's song is way more energetic than the routes are. Same thing with what's that other level that? Oh yeah, Masked Ball. Masked Ball's song Metropolis by Muike is so great and it's so high energy, but then the level is so fucking slow, and it's all because of Frog B making his level a 3 star, and then the developers saw that and they're like, no, we have to make the bonus a 2 star now instead of a 4 star because oh my god, the developers are so stupid when it comes to creation. Anyway, rant aside, I'll talk about that later. Actually, I kind of talked about that in Season 1, so just go watch that video instead. The point is that Tsunami was conceived to be something with potential, but they reduced it to just a nothing burger of nothing. And then, of course, the real question is, are the routes good? No, the routes are dog shit. The routes are terrible. I don't care if this is made by a fan-made team. The fan-made team has made better levels, so I can still criticize them that their level here just sucks. The routes are so boring. And I know that people will always defend 1 stars that are terrible, and they'll say, come on, it's a 1 star. You can't do much with it. You have to make the routes really open and easy for newcomers. No. Shh. Are we just going to pretend that Cobweb doesn't exist? That Starlight doesn't exist? That Eternity doesn't exist? Or Massive? Like, you can't just say 1 stars are designed to inherently be worse. No. You can make 1 stars that are entertaining. You can make 1 stars that sync well. You can make 1 stars that have actually memorable routes. Tsunami has none of that. No one can remember any route from Tsunami because they're just dog shit. And there's so many times when they have a collectible where you can just let go of the screen and the ball will collect it automatically. Except the collectible is designed in such a way where it looks like it's harder, but it's actually easier. And this isn't inherently bad in a collectible route design, but they do it so much to the point where it's like, are they even trying with these, or are they just placing them for the thick of it? Another thing I hate about this level is that there's just no sync. Like, how do you make a level that just syncs wrong in every single turn? Oh, I know. It's because they decided to make it a 1 star instead of actually putting it as the 5 star that everyone wanted it to be. I don't know if this was Square Root's fault or if it was Minimax's fault, but clearly they had a vision for this level, and LYW, whoever fuck-ass stupid admin at the top, they tanked this level to the ground. They destroyed this level's potential. They just destroyed it. And watching a level fall down so far in quality is exactly why I put Forest, the new version of 2019, all the way down in actual dog shit. And Tsunami is getting the exact same treatment. Only the routes are worse than every other level in this actual dog shit tier. And then, of course, the cherry on top of the shit pie that I just described to you is that this level opened up the floodgates to one of my least favorite aspects in the entirety of Minimax's catalog, that being extra bonus levels. This level introduced the idea that we can just add extra levels to existing ones, offer essentially no new creativity, and no, hue shifting a background by 10% is not original creativity. And that we can just add a bunch of little easy, boring, useless, forgettable 1 stars to levels that are actually respected and liked, and think that we can just get away with adding a bunch of gunk to the game. This is gunk. Tsunami is just gunk. It's landfill. It is a filler. It is comic relief. This level has no real purpose in the catalog of levels. And because of this level, because of Tsunami, we now have Starlight, Mysterious Trail, Cobweb, where the fuck this level is, Jack-o'-lantern, Venus, Space Station. All of that happened because of Tsunami. All of this happened because the developers who were behind Tsunami said, guys, we can just not offer anything new original and put it as a boring, easy, forgettable 1 star to fill up the game more so than it already is. And then that introduced a trend of garbage thereafter. So Tsunami is going at the very bottom of actual dog shit. Tsunami is one of the most embarrassing, disgusting, slimy, terrible additions to the game ever. And its horribleness transcends just the level itself. Anyway, Horizon Cruise. Where are we going to put Horizon Cruise? We're gonna put Horizon Cruise in okay. The reason why I say that is because a lot of people are saying Horizon Cruise's routes are genuinely abhorrently terrible. I don't think so. Horizon Cruise's routes are actually just really experimental. Experimental in this way means that like a route is really weird. It does a lot of things that other levels just have never done before, and it looks really strange and it looks really unorthodox. But the point is that I know Square Root, and he actually did try to make as good of a level as he could. And it has the same thing with Goblin Town, where I understand that a lot of people don't like these routes, but they were made with good intentions. And me personally, I do actually like the routes. I like how it feels like a space station. Everything just feels organized, but it feels like it's falling apart. It's like in a space station. I don't know if y'all seen a bunch of pictures of the International Space Station. The point is that like it looks organized, but it also looks really, really fucking messy. Like on the inside, you'll have computers with wires just going fuck all in a bunch of different directions, and like I think that Horizon Cruise actually captures this really, really well. It looks like the inside and outside of a space station. It's really, really good. I think the textures are actually also pretty great. I was a fan of the original backgrounds, but I don't mind that they changed the backgrounds later. The original backgrounds just were better because, like, the final backgrounds are more leaning towards AI slop than the original ones. Because the original ones had a giant, unique building in the center, and then the final versions, like, there's nothing really interesting about the backgrounds anymore. But I did like the original ones because, like, of that one building in the middle. And it's a shame that they got rid of that. But I think the song is okay. I don't really like how the level is a 5-star because it has the opposite effect of Tsunami, where the song is actually low-key, but then the level is really, really hard compared to the song. So it just feels kind of odd. I feel like that they should have made Horizon Cruise a 4-star or maybe even a 3-star, and that was the sentiment all the way back when it first released. But I do think that the routes that end up being 5-star were pretty good overall. And then another thing I want to talk about is the objects. The objects have the same issue as Jade Rabbit, where they're so hyper-realistic to the point where they don't really fit the Rolling Sky style. But I do think that the objects are still high quality, nevertheless. The only reason this level isn't going in great or anywhere else is because I acknowledge that a lot of people just have an issue with the routes in Horizon Cruise, and I can't really argue why the routes are good other than they're just really unorthodox and they experiment and they were made with well intentions. Because, like, I really don't know how to describe why I like the routes. They just feel like an obstacle course. They feel like a bunch of unique challenges placed back to back, and I like how fractured but organized they are. But I can't really argue that in a fair way, so I'm going to put it at okay. Because I think that overall, Halloween Night is probably a little better, Spectre Remix is probably better, and whatnot. So, yeah. Let's see. Hot take, the song is actually amazing and way too overhated. I don't know if you're referring to Tsunami or Horizon Cruise, but I think Horizon Cruise's song is just okay. I remember I listened to it and now it's just like it just feels kind of whatever. It's a really immersive song. It feels like you're in space in a Horizon Cruise and whatnot, but it doesn't have like it just feels like it doesn't have enough build up and drop. It doesn't have enough distinction between different sections. It just feels like a consistent background track. Like if I could choose to put that as the background track for this live stream, then I would, because it's just not really that remarkable. Oh yeah, let me there we go. Okay, so now you can see the levels at the bottom. Anyway, another thing I want to talk about with Tsunami, like just as a side note, is that the music itself, hot take, I don't think the music is actually that great. Like, a lot of people were fawning over the music in this level, and that's why everyone wanted this level to be a reality. But I just never thought the music was as good as the Sea World level. I feel like I'm the only person with this opinion. Everyone loves the Rock remix more than SeaWorld's song, but I think SeaWorld's song it feels way more immersive, has way more different range of instruments, and it feels like a more respectful copy of the Sea. The Sea Rock remix just feels like electric guitar the entire way through, with a little bit of piano, and then, like, drum set. But that's just it. Like, SeaWorld has so much better use of bass, and sound effects, and bubbles, and, like, synth and vocal loops and whatnot, and this song is just, like, it's just guitar spam. And the guitar spam, you can tell that it's not actually recorded live by a person. It's just recorded digitally. Like, it's just, like, made with, like FL Studio or something. Like, it just doesn't feel authentic. It feels like it's trying too hard to be rock themed. Most rock songs are not just okay, drum set, electric guitar, and that's it. Like, rock songs are way more than that. This is like a parody of rock songs. That's why I just don't think the rock remix is that good. And this is coming from someone who doesn't even really like rock music that much. But I respect it enough to the point where this is not rock music. This is just a copy. Chess Fortress. Where is Chess Fortress going to go? I think Chess Fortress is going to go, I'm looking at the list right now. Okay, I'm going to put Chess Fortress right here. When it first came out, I remember saying, this is in my co-creation explained video, where I said that Chess Fortress was just an okay level, and it was because they had a teaser trailer that was really, really good, and then the level ended up being nothing like the teaser trailer, and that really, really pissed me off. And I also just thought that the music was really ear-rapey. Like, the music was super loud and obnoxious, and I just wasn't a fan of it. And I just thought the routes were a little bit too messy, especially with the checkerboard designs in the build-up to the drop, where it like had a lot of different jump pads spammed everywhere. I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of how they used the second floor for like 1 fucking second, which is just really weird, and how they dropped down to get the collectible. I also thought that that was odd, and I just wasn't a fan of a lot of different aspects of this level. But looking back on it, I think it's actually, like, it's good. Like, I don't know what I saw in the music, but the music is actually really, really great. Like, I love the music a lot. Like, I genuinely think the music is probably, like, top 5 best songs in the game. And, of course, it's made by YOURSZC. This is the first time that YOURSZC has, like, made a song for the game, and it really pays off, like, as a good introduction to him, because the song is just perfect. It's amazing. Like, I love how it starts off really classical themed, and yes, it does have the ear rapey part, and I don't really like that. But then it goes away, and it goes back to classical. And then, as the build-up happens, it gets more and more electronic, and then by the time it's the drop, it completely transitions into house music theme, and it just feels really, really electronic. And I love that transition from classical to electronic. And then after that, it then combines the two, where it has a bunch of classical stuff mixed with electronic synth and whatnot, and it is a beautiful, beautiful song. It's like, it has a lot of intention, it has a lot of structure, every single section feels different from the last one and the one after it. It's a really, really impressive song. It is a beautiful fucking song. But when it comes to the routes, I think the routes they're just okay. Like, they're fine. Like, I guess I want to search up the Chess Fortress Rolling Sky teaser trailer. Because, like, again, I want to emphasize just how disappointing it is as compared to, like, the final version that we got. Maybe I should call it animation. Why is my search bar so strange? Animation. Come on. Where's the animation for Chess Fortress? Hello? This is kind of silly. No. Rolling Sky Chess Fortress animation. Doug, where is the animation video? It's here. I've watched it multiple times. No? What is this? Interesting. Bro, hello? Why can I not find it? Does someone know what it's called? Because I could have sworn that it was just very easily accessible like every other animation thing. Animation trailer. Dog, it's here. I know it's here. I've seen this multiple times. Okay, it's probably deleted, I guess. But, oh, here it is. Okay. So someone remade it, but we can just watch one on the side. Oh yeah, MDS. I remember watching this video a while ago. Okay, so look at the one on the, like, bottom corner. It's hard to see, but, you know. Yeah, so that pisses me off because like the I was hold on. How do I say this? The American football soundtrack is just background music, but I just am I the only one who doesn't? Am I the one who thinks that this trailer just overhypes the level to such a crazy degree? Like we have we have the light effect, the vignette effect, where like you have just a spotlight on the ball. That itself is really unique. The textures just look a lot more crisp than they do in the actual level, and that's really because this animation has proper shading. But still. And then you go to the second floor. They have lasers on the second floor. They have a bunch of chest fortress obstacles on the second floor, and you can see like tiles moving up and down, and it just feels like a really well structured level. You have glass on the second floor, and it just feels really, really well defined. Another thing that they don't have in the official game is that you can't have left or right movers on the second floor. So that would have been a cool addition too. You have an archer on the second floor, and then you have these rising pillars on the second floor, and then you have mini jump pads on the second floor. Imagine how crazy that kind of addition to the game would have been. Imagine being able to use all of these new things on the second floor. But then we actually have the final version of the level, and it uses the second floor for 2 seconds, and nothing from Chest Fortress is on the second floor. There's no Chest Fortress second floor objects. There's no mini jump pads on the second floor. There's no rising pillar tiles on the second floor. They essentially don't use any single glass tiles on the second floor. It is so disappointing. And there's no vignette effect either. The shading is worse too. It's like, I understand that it's a trailer, but like, you can't overhype the level that much. But again, it doesn't affect Chest Fortress overall for the most part. But it is a shame how low of a degrading that second floor usage had. But yeah, I think the routes are overall are pretty good. They're a little weird. They just feel a little bit off sometimes. Like, they just feel almost AI generated, but it's fine. The level is pretty good. Interstellar Leap. It's funny because when this first came out, I initially thought this level was dog shit, and I remember Square was really hurt by it, and I regret saying what I said, because this level is actually pretty good. I think it's not as good as Horizon Cruise, but I think it's almost there. I think the song is just really good, the routes are really good, and what should I give this level? I think I might actually put it like here. I think that Interstellar Leap is actually just a really good level. I think it also copies the idea of Horizon Cruises, like you're in an organized space station, but it's also really disorganized because, again, you just don't have the time or energy, and it's just better to leave everything as it is with, you know, just flown around, less organized, you know, just a ton of fucking space. But the point is that, like, I think this level almost does it better than Horizon Cruise. Like, this level manages to capture that feeling without the routes feeling too weird and different. And these routes feel a little bit more oriented to, you know, the classic Rolling Sky route style that we had in 2020 and 2022. But, I mean, not 2022, what am I saying? Goblin Town is nothing similar to Interstellar Leap. But yeah, I think that this is the first song made by Night Arc P. I love Night Arc P so much. It's a shame that he only made 3 songs because I think that the song is great. I do hate that they changed it last minute, because Night Arc P had the essential what happened is that the second drop used to sound completely different, and then for some random reason they decided to just copy the first drop and like pitch shift it down. I don't fucking know why they decided to do that. It sounds way worse than the original version, and it's just dumb. It's like, what happened? Why cannot we use the original actual different melody? But you know, that's one of the strangest things that they've ever decided to do for a level that just no one really talks about, because no one really cares about these levels anymore, because no one remembers that they exist. But oh, goodbye, Abdulorn. And yeah, I think Interstellar Leap is just pretty good. I think the cover is one of the worst covers in the game, actually. There's so many issues with it, like the sideways UFO. There's a bunch of like spaces where you can just see a void inside the tile. The ball trail is not very good. They just have a giant gate, so there's no sense of like depth to the cover. It doesn't feel like it extends anywhere, because it just looks like it's all up against the camera. But another thing that I have deliberately avoided to talk about is the third hidden theme of Horizon Cruise. The infamous space station theme. Oh my god, bro. the space station theme is one of the most contended things in the entire game, and I don't think it should be that significant, but it is. By the way, JR Farfan, Night Arc P made Interstellar Leap, and then he made Bouncing City, and then he made Observatory, and then he permanently left the community because of quote unquote a bunch of kids were nagging him. So no idea what that means, but it's probably just a bunch of some random drama on the Billy community, and I don't really can't bother to figure it out. But the point is, I really liked Night Arc P, and it's a shame that he's gone now, because yeah, he would have made a great song composer for the game. Anyway, I think the space station theme is actually really beautiful. I wish that they had a different background. I don't know what it is with Minimax trying to cut corners and have a theme where only the background is different, or have a theme where the background is just the same as another theme. Like, come on, like just fully commit. If you're gonna make another theme, then actually make another theme. Like, stop doing all this shit. But the point is that, like, aside from the background, I think that the space station theme looks really good. I love how it uses that metal tile thing, and that's only ever come back up again in Radiant Shadow, and it's never been used anywhere else. I love the metal tile design. It looks really cool. And I saw that in the teaser trailer, the teaser post, and I was like, what happened to this theme? I don't know if it was initially planned that this theme would only be revealed in the bonus level, or if it was, like, just a last minute addition that they decided to do. But yeah, I think that this theme is really good. Another thing I like is the mystery box routes. I think the mystery box routes are actually pretty good. I always like it when mystery boxes are just a little bit harder than gems, but not like cube level hard. So I think Interstellar Leap matches that balance pretty well. I do know that Interstellar Leap incorporate a lot of different collectible routes from a bunch of Chinese beta testers. Like FO18 made a mystery box route, WhatWF made a mystery box route, and a bunch of other people worked on that too. I think one of Spheres' routes is in here too, and Ponydom's. The point is, yeah, it's technically made out of bias, and I should credit them, but the point is that they're only for, like, little collectible routes, so it's not that big of a thing to point out. So, I think we're going to move on to Criss Cross. Criss Cross is an interesting level. I'm trying to think about, like, all the things I'm thinking about it right now. Wait, did I just say I'm trying to think about all the things that I'm thinking about it right now? But I sound like a politician. This is kind of hard. Is it better than that level? No. Is it better than that level? Not really. Golly, this is tough. This is really tough. What should I do with Criss Cross? Okay, I'll put it here. I think Criss Cross it's pretty good, but it's just not that good. There's something about wait, what the hell? Why did it, like, zoom out extra? Wait, that's weird. I need to fix that. Okay, so I need to fix a thing. Wait, what? What? Huh? This is really strange. I don't know. Let's see. So if I zoom this in slightly. Okay, that works, I guess. Yeah, my face cam is a little bit too weirdly big, but it's fine. Okay, sure. So, yeah, I just don't think that Criss Cross is that great, but it's better than Unlock the Future, and it's better than anything else other than that. Because I think the routes are just kind of odd. Like this, I say this a lot for a lot of early 2023 levels and Dinosaur Valley. The routes are really experimental. The routes do a lot of things that just feel kind of AI generated almost. Like for example, in Criss Cross, there's a part where there's a completely flat open space, but then there's a mover that goes to the left, and it's shaped like a little cracker piece, like as if you broke off a piece of a cracker. And then it goes, and there's a bunch of little, like, open voids in the middle of the giant flat plane now. And those little things just make the routes feel really, like, just strange. I don't know how to describe it. Or sometimes the routes will be really simple, and then it'll just jump, and you have a crazy mover combination that goes in, like, a bunch of different directions. Or, I just think that, like, the collectible routes are just really odd. Like, that one crown collectible route at the beginning of the level is just strange, and just, the level really oscillates between super complicated and super simple. My favorite part is the first theme change, like the first time we change the theme and then it uses a bunch of blocks. I think that syncs just perfectly, so I like all that stuff. But then after that, the level just feels it feels too weird. Like it just does a bunch of weird things. I wish I could explain this better. But another thing about the level is the music. I think the music is fine. I like how it's a mix of like electronic stuff and classical, similar to the original level, but there's something about it that just feels off. I think it's the drums. The drums are the weirdest part of the Criss Cross. It's like they don't really know what to do with them, especially when it comes to the drop. Like the level will build up, it has a lot of energy building up, get up and up and up and up, and then you get to the drop, and they just don't even know what to do. The drums just like go all the way back down to the low level that they were at the beginning of the song. And it's like you expect the level to have a lot more energy, but then you get to the drop, and it just doesn't have that energy that you're looking for. And then it ramps up a little bit in terms of its intensity and intimidation factor in the song, but I just don't think it ever reaches a significant high. And of course the ending, I just think is really weird. I'm not a fan of those flip tiles. The flip tiles look very odd, and this coming from someone who thinks that the Horizon Cruise flip tiles are pretty good. So seeing these ones in Criss Cross just feels wrong. Like they just look strange. Why do they have this weird fake cross icon on it? It's not even a cross, it's like a square with like two rectangles positioned inside of it. It just doesn't look right, and it's not even centered properly. And the ending is just really weird looking. They just spam a bunch of flip tiles, a giant open empty void, and there's just a lot of weirdness. It's a weird level, guys. Just don't pressure me on it too much. It's a weird level, and I just always thought of it as just, it's passable, I guess. Anyway, Dinosaur Valley. As you all know, Dinosaur Valley I gave a 4 out of 10 of its quality back in my Dinosaur Valley review video. And my primary issue with Dinosaur Valley was that it was too experimental. This is a thing that I've been talking about every single level that's been in Minimax's catalog ever since Jade Rabbit, and that these levels, they do a thing where they try a new idea that other levels have never done before. Everyone loves the level, so they think, okay, let's make that idea even more extravagant than before. Horizon Cruise does way more crazy routes than Jade Rabbit does, then Chess Fortress does more crazy routes than Horizon Cruise does, and now we've reached Dinosaur Valley. Dinosaur Valley has the craziest routes out of any of these levels, and I think it is the pinnacle of Minimax's experimental factor, at least with the exception of its bonus level, which we'll get to later. But Dinosaur Valley is so experimental. It uses so many different things from other levels. It uses the dynamic cube block things. It uses the dynamic cube stair climber. It uses the psychedelic music bouncy back and forth things. It uses the left and right speed arrows. It uses a lot of fucking stuff. It introduces crazy new ideas like the shake effect, where you can shake the camera without actually using a laser cannon. Yes, you can put a laser cannon on the second floor, but then you'll still hear the sound effect. And then, of course, you have the new power-up. And it's not really a new power-up, it's just like flight power-up, but extended a little bit further, and you have a dinosaur on it now. So that's just odd. But the level is definitely the most experimental thus far Minimax has ever been, and that was my biggest issue with the level, and I didn't like it. But now, looking at the level, I've realized that compared to a lot of other levels Minimax has made, Dinosaur Valley is actually pretty good. My point is always that the more experimental you get, the more risky it is, and I still think that's true, but I've changed my mind to understand that Dinosaur Valley's risk is actually kind of worth it. 'Cause I think the routes are pretty good. They really do feel like a naturistic, vibe that a Jurassic World needs. And I don't really like how Dinosaur Valley has a man-made archway because it's implied that it took place during the extinction because that's why they have a bunch of meteors everywhere. But I think that like the meteors are handled really well. I do think that I don't like how the red theme is just completely hue shifted. That is just terrible. But I do think that overall the atmosphere of the level is really good. Fun fact, they actually had like a gray theme that they were going to use in the middle, but then they decided to scrap it for unknown reasons. And I honestly am glad that they scrapped it because that would mean that you only see the green theme at the very beginning and the very end, which just would feel really weird. So I'm glad they got rid of the gray theme. But anyway, yeah, these routes are just the build up is cool when it uses the mini jump pads because it syncs perfectly with the triplets in the song. But I think that it's a little bit too much where it just spams shake effect, it just spams a bunch of meteors everywhere, and it's just really hard to read, and it's really annoying, and that's my least favorite part of the level. And then, of course, you have the infamous flight power-up section where it spams a whole bunch of sliding tile meteors. I also just think it's weird that you have meteors that are just floating mid-air and not, hitting the ground like a real meteor actually would. And then when you combine that with sliding tiles, they don't look like meteors. They just look like floating artifacts. And it's even weirder because one of the meteors has an effect on it where it looks like it's like falling to the point where you can see the air resistance and you can see the like re-entering atmosphere effect. So there's fire coming off of it. But then the meteor is just floating mid-air. It's just sitting there. So it's weird when you have a meteor just sitting there stationary, but then it has a fire trail on it. It's like, why would you design a meteor if you're not going to make it move in a way where the fire trail actually makes sense to be there? So it's just a lot of miscommunication between the modeling team and the developers who actually routed the level and animated the objects. So I just have an issue with that. But overall, I think the textures in the final version at least are good. The initial textures were pretty terrible, but then they ended up fixing them. They fixed the stupid five-legged dinosaur AI bullshit in the background. I think now's a good time to talk about the AI. Yes, I don't like the AI backgrounds. They look really plain and boring. They're always just like one or two colors. There's no discernible factors in it other than like, the dinosaurs. But I just think the AI background usage is just terrible in these levels. Because I remember there was a time when backgrounds actually used to have a lot of character and depth to them, like pretty much every Cheetah Mobile level, and you'd actually care about what's in the background. But now, the backgrounds are just made to be just slop, just a color gradient slop, and you're meant to focus on the level. Which again, that's why I don't think AI backgrounds are that big of an issue, because what matters is the routes of the level. But again, I miss the days when they actually cared about every aspect of the level and didn't try to just water down other things that they cared less about, like backgrounds. Because backgrounds are an underrated cornerstone of Rolling Sky levels, and I just hate that they've been reduced to a lot of this AI slop. But with all of these different factors coming together, I think I'm actually going to give Dinosaur Valley not a 4 out of 10, but I might actually put it in the... I think that Dinosaur Valley is a great level. My change in opinion of Dinosaur Valley is probably a greater change in opinion than any other level in the entirety of the game. I don't think I've ever changed my opinion of a level this significantly, ever. Because Dinosaur Valley, I just judged it on a lot of things that I valued at the time, but now looking back on it, I still hold a lot of those values. It's just that my opinion of what makes a level good, especially when I compare this level to other levels Minimax makes later on, I just think Dinosaur Valley is good. And what I give it now, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I think Dinosaur Valley is a really creative level. It really respects, the dinosaur aspects. It has a bunch of different models that look great. The vines are great. I love how it's incorporation of the meteors. And I just think that it's a really fun level. It's a fun level. And I don't really mind the randomization gems anymore. The routes are really crazy, like they are in Horizon Cruise and Jade Rabbit, but I do think that the routes are still really good anyway. Anyway, Lov-E. Lov-E. Oh, bro. Do I have to rank Lov-E? No, we just, I gotta stop the music right now. Do I have to rank this level, bro? I just don't care about Lov-E. I don't care about it. There's just something about Lov-E that just feels so not birthday. Lov-E is the least birthday level. Lov-E just feels so like just cobbled together. Like, okay, we need to talk about the concept behind Lov-E. The first concept was happy birthday. It is a giant birthday cake. A lot of things are birthday themed. They incorporate obstacles from other levels. Then they have a bunch of cameo themes. Really solid. The theme is happy birthday to you. It's a really just straightforward birthday level. Then we have 4th anniversary, where it references a bunch of different songs, or like 3 different songs, really. But it's still really respectful to the game. It has cameo themes, has a lot of objects that reference other things in the levels. I think 4th anniversary is a good celebration of the game. Then you cut all the way over to 8 years, and it just doesn't feel like a real birthday celebration. It feels like a level with a concept. Then they decided, wait a minute, we need to make a birthday level. Let's just take this completely unrelated concept and force it into a birthday level. This level does not feel like it was created with the intention of it actually celebrating a birthday, because I specifically know that this level was originally going to be called System Shock. I just know this because I was told that they were making an electricity level, and the birthday level was not even talked about when they were first making the concept for this thing. And then they realized later on, hey, wait a minute, we need a birthday level. So let's just take this electricity level, put a number 8 here, okay, yeah, the 8 flip tiles, and then we're just gonna add in like 4 different objects from other levels. See, guys, we're so respectful of the game. No cameo themes at all. They just use those 4 objects a little bit, and then not really at all. And then the rest of the level is just a bunch of electric, like, nonsense. Like, it's just a bunch of random generic electric stuff that we've seen in Microchip and VR Fairyland and Psychedelic Music and Sunset Glow. And it is just really, it's not a birthday level. Lov-E is not a birthday level. The music isn't birthday themed either. It doesn't respect any other song previously in the game. It doesn't reference any other objects other than those 4. Lov-E is just not a good birthday level. It's not. It is just isn't. Nothing about the level feels like a birthday. It feels like a other concept, which by the way it was, that was shoehorned into the birthday category at the last minute. It's very lazy and it's very disrespectful to the game. Now, let's talk about the actual routes, textures, and music. They're strange. They're just okay. Like, again, it has the same thing that other levels like Dinosaur Valley, Horizon Cruise, and Jade Rabbit have, but it's just not good this time around. I remember when I played Dinosaur Valley, I had my negative opinions of it, and then Lov-E happened, and this was Jesus Christ. So Lov-E was the first time I actually did not care about a Rolling Sky update, which is crazy. I remember when Lov-E came out, I think I had reached like second only low to Rolling Sky. The first low was like Golden Christmas. That was probably the worst I ever felt whenever playing the game. But Lov-E was the second low. Like Lov-E just firstly they fucked up the update schedule. They released it on Android and they didn't release the birthday level for iOS. And it's like, come on, this is a fucking birthday level. Like, how incompetent can you be for something that should be this important? But again, when you combine that with the fact that the concept isn't even really birthday themed, you can see where like the laziness and lack of care comes from. But this is the first level in the entirety of the game where I just didn't even care about the update. Like, genuine, I even for the levels that I thought were bad, like Golden Christmas and all the levels after that, I actually still really wanted to play every single new level as soon as I possibly could. But when Lov-E came out, I didn't touch it for like another 1 or 2 weeks. Like I don't think I even touched it until the next update. I just didn't care about Lov-E at all. And then I watched it and I played it and I just didn't even I was just like, yeah, I don't think I missed out on much. These routes are just so weird. They're so messy and they're so unreadable. Like the use of Egypt like button, like yes, I respect that they brought that back, but it just doesn't work. It's so messy and ugly, and I hate how they jump to the second floor. You have to go to the left, then jumping up to the second floor, then go to the right. It has no sync at all. This whole level just syncs horribly, actually. Like there's just genuinely nothing good about this level that syncs. And of course you have the mechanic. The mechanic is just really annoying. For example, like if you're gonna, I understand that you have to combine protons with electrons or electrons with protons so that you have more energy, quote unquote, and then you go faster. That's an understandable concept, and I like that. It's a really genius concept for an electricity level. But the issue is that if you don't have the original ball, then if you use a different character, you can't tell what color you are because you have a different character. So they didn't think that part through, aside from like the minus symbol on it, which you can't see for half the characters because the characters are white. And then like it's so confusing to a player to tell them, "Hey, you have this color. Now touch not this color." Like, if you give the player a color, then they're going to instantly automatically gravitate towards colors that are similar to them. That is just how it works. I'm not talking about race, by the way. I'm talking about like video game stuff. Like no, if you guys, stop. For example, if you have a bunch of like gates, let's say we're playing a generic mobile game, not like this game, where you give the ball a blue color, then you have a red gate and you have a blue gate. Which gate are you gonna go? You're gonna go through the blue gate because the blue gate is your color, so you're going to think that that one lets you go past and the other one kills you or something. That's just how it works. If you are a certain color in a video game, you will inherently be gravitated more towards that same color. That's safer. Unfortunately for Lov-E's mechanic, that's the opposite. The going to the same color causes you to die. But that's not even the real issue, is that it doesn't actually cause you to die. It essentially just seals your fate, but it just lets you continue on anyway. The issue with Lov-E's mechanic is that, like, if you fail, if you don't touch the right color, then you'll just keep going for another, like, 20 seconds, but then you'll end up dying anyway because of that giant unbreakable wall of blocks. And it's like, why are you even letting the ball continue if they're just doomed to die? And not only that, if you use a shield to pass through it, then you're going to be off sync anyway. So this mechanic just wasn't even thought out in the slightest for if a player doesn't follow it to the exact T. And then, of course, the design of the mechanic being the color thing that I mentioned earlier just doesn't work either. And unfortunately, I just think that the mechanic is just ruined by a bunch of sloppiness that it's just like, yeah. So we're going to put Lov-E in, do I think Lov-E is better than that? Let's see. That. You know what? I'll put Lov-E here. I'm not going to put Lov-E in terrible. I shall put Lov-E here. Because the objects themselves are okay. The textures themselves are okay. I like the thank you fireworks. That's pretty cool. The music itself is actually pretty great, even if it essentially has nothing to do with the celebrating the game's history. And I think that overall, like, the routes do try, and they did try with those cameo objects, but overall, I think this level is just a really, really disappointing quote-unquote celebration of the game. But it is still better than Stars and all these other things thereafter. Storms and Love was released at the exact same time as Lov-E. And so, if I have to rank Storms and Love, I think I'm going to put it in, I'll put it here. I think the Storms and Love is just not a good level. The routes are just frankly terrible. The routes are really, really bad. I like some of the mover combinations in Storms and Loves, but the beginning is so bland and empty. For a 3-star, how do you make a level so boring and useless? Like, it's such a generic start. The crown sucks. The sliding tile usage is generic. The roller usage, yeah, let's just have a bunch of rollers going through the center lane with no rhyme or reason. We're just going to do that. Then we're going to place a bunch of tall objects in the middle and a bunch of giant voids. And I hate how Storms and Loves tries to water down Lov-E's original route and make it the same except way easier, because it ends up looking really, really terrible. And it's so obvious that Storms and Love was made at the very last second as a shameless copy of Lov-E. It is just not good. And I understand. Wait, huh? And I understand the appeal of we need to make an easier version so that other fans of the game who aren't as skilled are able to play it. Yes, I understand that, but that's what we have bonus levels for. We don't need a duplicate level with the exact same song and the same theme organization just for that, especially if the level itself is just not very good. I do think that the routes improve over time, but the routes just still end up being extremely bland and boring, especially for a 3-star. Like, I don't see people defending 3 stars for this lack of detail. I see people defending 1 stars for that, but this level is a 3 star, and it just does not look good. It is a ugly looking level. Another thing that I just don't like about Lov-E and Storms of Love in general is that the object usage itself is just not very good. They use a bunch of objects like 1 or 2 times, and then never again, or they'll use an object way to the point where it's just not even like, I just hate looking at it. Okay, let's go back to this. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say about Storms in Love. Again, I think the music is great for both levels, but it just doesn't celebrate the game in the slightest. Kind of disappointing, just generic. It was made the last second, so I don't really judge it with that much hate. Anyway, Dino Disco is going to be an interesting one. Where are we going to put Dino Disco? Dino Disco is, like, a lot of people love it. A lot of people want it to get thrown into the garbage, but most people want it to get thrown into the garbage. So where are we going to put Dino Disco, you may ask? I think I am going to put Dino Disco right here. I think that Dino Disco is just, the routes are so bad. Sorry, I'm gonna put it right here. The routes are so bad. The routes are just abhorrently terrible. The routes are so laughably bad. But, again, I've made this point multiple times before. As Square Root was telling me about this, he really tried with this level. He wanted to experiment with route style. He didn't just hone in this level at the last second. He really spent a lot of effort making this level. And I understand that sometimes you try and do experimental things and they don't work. I understand that. So I am not bothered by the fact that Square Root just ended up making a not good level. But I do think that the routes are just very bad. They don't sync really well. They're really repetitive back and forth. I think the mystery boxes are frankly terrible. The worst offender of mystery boxes in this level is the fact that they have a section where it has a gem on one side, then they copy the entire route and mirror it the opposite way, but instead of a gem on the other side, it's a mystery box. So you're literally proving right there that the mystery box is the exact same difficulty as the gem. And then it just begs the question, why is it even a mystery box if it's the same difficulty as a gem? This is also the first level to have 30 collectibles, which was never the case before this point now. That was a rare thing, and not many people even pointed that out. But the thing is that, I just don't think this level was good at all. It does have merit, though, which is why I'm actually going to put it up here. Right? If I put up a Swim Festival, you know, I'm going to put up a cloud. Fuck this shit. It's going all the way up here. Because, the objects are still good. The textures, at least now, are much better. And I just think that the music is really generic and boring. But overall, the routes still kind of hold it up a little bit. I do think that Dino Disco is a 5-star because it's just really, it is a very obstacle coursey level. I just don't like how it also has a bunch of trick routes, a bunch of fake movers, and it always acts like you're going off to do a collectible route, but then it's just fake, and turns out you have to jump around a bunch of fuck in order to get the collectible. I'm just not a fan of that. I do think that the Dino Disco uses the flight power-up better so than the original level does, and I think that it doesn't have as messy and unreadable of routes as the original, but it's just too long. The level is just way too long. I don't know why they felt committed to use the entirety of the F77 Dino Disco song. They should have cut it down a little bit, because it is, 2 minutes and 26 seconds, I believe? It's really long, and I don't know why they decided to use it, because a lot of the parts of the song are just really fucking boring, and the only thing that makes me interested in the song mildly is the fact that the routes, hold up the song, which is usually not the case. Usually the opposite is the case, where the music is really good, but the routes aren't. So the music holds up the level. But overall, I think Dino Disco it's really hard to get through because it's so long and the routes are really repetitive. But I still think that it's better than most of this stuff. It's better than Cloud, I guess. But yeah. Mysterious Trail. Mysterious Trail is going here because Mysterious Trail is an overrated level. The song is garbage. I hate the song so much. There's nothing more I hate in electronically made song than just left, right, jump, boom, clap, boom, clap. Is the most obnoxious, silly, goofy, 12-year-old beatboxy beat I've ever heard in my entire life, and that is the entirety of this song. It is just that. That's the whole drum loop. It just repeats over and over and over again. The melody sucks. There is no real melody. The melody is just a bunch of random electronic noises, and I hate this song. I hate this song so much, guys. Please, I hate it. I hate it. I hate this song a lot. I do respect, however, that they made a bonus level to Labyrinth, because Labyrinth needs a bonus level, but the bonus level is just not good. It is not good. I hate that it ends on the Labyrinth theme. I fucking hate when bonus levels end on the same theme and don't give other themes the spotlight that they deserve. Why don't we have more of the orange theme? Why don't we have more of the purple theme? But of course, it has to end on the gray theme because, you know, whoever wrote this level is really stupid. I do like how this level uses Labyrinth snakes. It feels really challenging, and I think that it almost justifies it being a 3-star, but you know, whatever. Then this level had a really weird update, where the snakes used to animate in a certain way, where you could actually tell what was happening, but now, I don't know how the coders even managed to do this, but in an update later on, they made it so that the snakes all animate late, which means that sometimes there's an archway that forms, and then the archway gets blocked off in the animation. But because the snakes now animate late, you'll just die to a void, because the ball gets there before the snake gets there. Or, for example, there's a snake obstacle that moves left and right, like horizontally, and it's not even supposed to kill the player. But the ball gets there before the snake goes back into the ground. So you see the ball go through an obstacle. And I just think that it's such a stupid idea to make. You didn't even need to change the animation timing of these snakes, but they did it for no reason, and they just ruined the level. Like, the level is just unreadable now because the snakes animate late. You can't tell which archways are going to close and which ones are going to open. You're going to keep dying to a bunch of voids. You're going to keep going through a bunch of snakes that don't even have a hitbox to begin with, and the sync is still terrible either way. The collectibles are not good. The crowns are boring. The gems are boring. The usage of Labyrinth lasers is boring. The beginning is so basic and useless and terrible. There's nothing interesting about the beginning. This level has nothing going for it. Aside from like the usage of snakes sometimes, but then that was ruined by whatever fuck ass update happened where they changed the snakes beginning animation timing. So overall, the song is not good. The usage of themes is horrible. The routes are just not good. And the song sucks. And also the song sucks. Starfield. Bro, this is why I hate extra bonus levels. Like, I just don't care about these, dude. If you're gonna make an extra bonus, actually put a level of effort into it. Mysterious Trail had some effort put into it, I'll admit. But this level just has no effort. It's so soulless. The only thing it has going for it is sometimes the sync. The sync is okay. But again, this is another example of a song that has so much energy, so much character and charisma. And then the level is just so boring and useless and forgettable. No one remembers a single route from this level because everything is so bland and boring. I don't know why they started this on the blue theme. It just, sure, why not, I guess. I don't care. No one cares. No one even brings it up because this level is so forgettable and useless. This level is going, oh my god. This level is going to go right here. It'll go right here. Because the objects are still pretty good, but it's not better than Ghost Dance, and it's just a forgettable, useless, soulless level. There's no soul behind this level. You can tell that no one gave a single flying shit when they made this level. The routes are like cookie cutter, boring 1-star routes. The sync is okay at some points, but that's only probably because the song is just really good, which by the way, they didn't even make it for the level, they just took a pre-existing song from Samsung somewhere else. The theme usage is weird. The glass detail is just really, this is like a weird usage of glass detail. They also use blocks for some reason, which they, again, like I made a point earlier in Temple Fair, if you use tiles that fall or blocks in tiny little doses, then it just feels wrong. These are things you have to use in chunks, and this level, Starfield, uses it in tiny little doses, and it feels very, very wrong, and you can just tell because the textures look really bad on the blocks. That's why Deep Space did not use blocks to begin with. But yes, I don't think Starfield is good. It is a really generic, boring, forgettable, soulless filler level. Anyway, Interstellar Leap is going to go above Temple Fair. Criss Cross is going to go below Temple Fair or above Temple Fair? Criss Cross will go above Temple Fair. Dinosaur Valley is going behind Chess Fortress. Lov-E is going to go and then Storm's Love is going to go in It's Bad, and Dino Disco is going to go in It's Bad. Mysterious Trail is going to go in It's Bad, and Starfield is going in It's Bad. So we really had 4 It's Bads in a row, which sucks. Oh, yeah. Have I listened to Fission's soundtrack? No, I haven't, and I really don't care. I mean, I'm gonna give the level a chance, but I just hate the over-reliance on industrial levels. Like, bro, come the fuck on. This, like, industrial high-tech levels, we just had it all before. We had Steam Era, then we had, like, Microchip and all that stuff, we have mechanical power, and then we have industrial base, industrial age. Like, can we just stop it with these mechanical levels, bro? I just don't care about them anymore. And now we have Fission, which is seemingly another mechanical level. At least it's what it looks like based off of the thing. I haven't looked at any leaks from the level, and I don't really bother to. Point is, I'm just not a fan. It's just, yeah, no, please, no. And again, another issue I just always have with these extra bonuses is that they do have potential. Just like Ryan Jomek said. Like, they could be good. The songs are pretty good. The textures from the original levels are still great and they hold up. They could make bonus levels with soul. But that's why I hate these levels, because they're just so cookie cutter and so forgettable. And they are only made to attract more little kids and newbies into the game. They're not made with soul. They're just made to make more money and fill up the game with more gunk. I hate these levels' existence so much, and of course it's all because of Tsunami opening those floodgates. Anyway, now it's time for Flower Dance, the level that no one remembers at all. No one remembers this level. No one cares about it at all. No one gives a shit, bro. I don't even know what's it like. But despite no one caring about it, I think that Flower Dance is actually okay. But the question is, where is it actually going in okay? I'm actually going to put it here. Planets is actually a great level. The reason why I say this is because the textures are just beautiful. The textures look great. Yes, granted, they do look like just 1 or 2 colors in max total. God, why can I not talk right now? I'm just tired. I'm really tired, guys. Anyway. Yeah, I understand the themes are really basic color-wise, but I just think they look really beautiful. These are probably some of my favorite AI backgrounds out of all of them. They look really crisp, and they have a lot of detail to them despite being AI generated. And I just think that the texture is just really beautiful overall. I also like the distinction that they have between the two themes, where the pink theme uses simple glass and the purple theme uses striped glass. I always love it when themes have those differentiable features. And going to the music, I think the music is low-key one of the most choppy, nonsensical songs that I've heard. Yandong Wei has this issue where he never wants to just pick a single key. He always wants to switch between different keys. He wants to cut different sections in half or in a quarter. He always tries to do these little things that make his song stand out in ways that are just not necessary and offer nothing new to the song other than make it sound like more disjointed and disconnected. And this song is definitely one of those songs. It's pretty good, but then he keeps cutting it up, he keeps changing the key signature, and it just ends up being so unreadable, and you can't follow the song. And every time someone tries to reimagine the song in their head, they can't get it right because the key changes so frequently. But again, I think the objects in this level are beautiful. I love the usage of the rotating 180 degrees tiles. I love how you can have obstacles disappear underneath the tiles and have obstacles appear from underneath the tiles. I love the flower petal effect. It looks beautiful. And overall, I think the routes are just really, really good. They combine that new rotating 180 tile mechanic nicely with the rest of the routes. I think the glass detail is beautiful. I love how all the different usage they have for those flower boxes, how they can move over tiles, they can move off of tiles, they can click forward or backward, and I like a lot of different things about these objects in general. So Flower Dance is going in great. I don't have much to say beyond that point. Anyway, Eternal Journey. Oh my gosh. Yeah. God, bro, what do I even have to say about Eternal Journey? So, I guess it's like that. So it could be there. Huh. Eternal Journey is weird. Do I want it to be there? I'm trying to think about that for a second. Do I want Eternal Journey to be there? I'll put it below Temple Fair. In fact, I'll put it below Marshmallow Alone. Eternal Journey is just such a mid-level. Like, I do respect it. That's why it's not going in bad, because it uses cameo themes, and it does use a bunch of unused objects previously from those themes, like uses the rotating cube variants. It also uses the poker, like, bird thing coming out of hats. So I respect that. But I just don't think the routes are good. The routes are really bad. In fact, the routes are low-key worse than they are in Storms and Love. So I might put this below Championship. But I just think that the music is really boring. And yes, I do respect that it uses Interstellar Leap for a little bit, but the rest of the song is so, like, useless. Like, the song just, like, it's just a bunch of noise. There's no discernible melody. There's no discernible chords, nothing. It's just a bunch of, like, echoey nonsense. There's no soul. There's no character to the music. The music is just filler. It's filler music, and the only time it ever locks in is when it uses either the cube melody or when it uses the Interstellar Leap melody. Other than that, I'm just not impressed with this level at all. The mechanic usage is far worse than it is in Lov-E and Storms and Love combined, and it just doesn't really... While Lov-E and Storms and Love use other different mechanics that kind of celebrate the game, this level doesn't use any mechanics that celebrate the game. And it's just really, really disappointing. And the object usage, aside from the cameo theme objects, is equally, if not worse, than it is in Lov-E and Storms and Love. In fact, I'm actually going to put this, like, over here. Still better than Faster, I guess, but yeah, it's not very good. Anyway, Day of the Dead. Finally, something that's just doesn't make me feel depressed. Day of the Dead now. Where are we putting this level? So, it's going, okay, yeah, I'm just thinking about this in my head right now. I think I'm gonna put Day of the Dead right here. I think Day of the Dead is actually a really, wait, what am I saying? Wait, I need to, like, wake up, bro. I'm putting Day of the Dead, like, up here. Day of the Dead is a great level. What am I? God, my brain is just not working. That's what 5 hours of sleep does. That's just what 5 hours of sleep does to you. Anyway, yeah, Day of the Dead is just great. The textures are really amazing. I don't really have an issue with the fact that, like, all the textures are bluish and then the background is orange. All the textures are orange and the background is blue. A lot of people are saying they should be the same color, but I really don't think they should. I think they actually work better when they're contrasting each other. I love the underground mechanic. I wish that you could go under the tiles and over the tiles on the same places, but you know, the mechanic is fine as it is. I do respect they added a bunch of underground obstacles too. That's cool. The song is also really good. I like the return of Zach Streifel. I'm really impressed that he made the song in, like, what, 4 days or something? That's really impressive. And yeah, I think the song is just really good. It feels like a nice blend of, like, traditional music that you'd see in Day of the Dead, but then it also, like, it mixes in its classical Zack Strifle style of EDM-ness and turbo chilly-ness that just feels really nostalgic. This level sounds like a really nostalgic level overall, in my opinion, because this level just sounds like it was made in 2016. But yeah, I think the objects are great, textures are great, the music is great, it syncs really well. The routes feel kind of odd at sometimes. It feels a little bit too devoid of detail, or it feels too clustered with movers or sliding tiles. The sync is really off at times, even though the sync is good at other times. Or there's a lot of trick routes where sometimes you have to go around a bunch of obstacles to avoid a laser cannon killing you at the last second. But yeah, I think Day of the Dead is a pretty solid level. Anyway, Cobweb. What are we gonna do with Cobweb? I'm gonna put Cobweb here. Cobweb, usually people would expect me to give Cobweb bad or dog shit because it's an extra bonus level. And yes, I hate extra bonuses. I think they're a waste of time and a waste of space. But that doesn't change the fact that Cobweb's routes are still just way better than Halloween Escapes. And like arguably Cobweb has some of the greatest glass detail in the entire game. I think that Mental Rave and Fairy Tale have some of the best glass detail in the game, but Cobweb is actually really underrated in its detail. Like, we need to talk about how good Cobweb uses moving tiles and glass tiles, all of it just to become a 1-star. Like, it is a really, really well-made 1-star, I have to admit. Yes, Cobweb is actually kind of commendable in how it's made. Not only that, but the song is actually, like, passable. Like, it's actually not boring as shit. So I really do respect that. I do wish that they used the original song. I think the original song is just way better than the final version that we got. I mean, when I say the original song, again, I misspoke. It's like TDX made the song, so he made 2 songs together, and then Max just picked one of them. And the other one is still just stuck in limbo, like not being used or paid for to do anything. But in the future, I might just make a fan made on that level. Because, yeah, I think that song is really good. Anyway, yeah, I think that the textures are obviously great because the textures and objects are from the original level, so they look good. And, yeah, the routes are really surprisingly, shockingly impressive for a generic filler 1-star extra bonus level that no one asked for. And, yeah, I'm just really impressed. I'm impressed with Cobweb, so I'm going to give it an okay ranking. Sweet Paradise. I will not say the same thing for Sweet Paradise. Sweet Paradise is really, really fucking generic. Sweet Paradise is going, is it worse than Starfield? Yes. Yes, it's going right here. I hate Sweet Paradise so much. I don't know what the appeal of Sweet Paradise comes from. The song is kind of generic and boring, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Because the song, it just doesn't sync with the level at all. I don't know what kind of sorcery had to happen for there to be just absolutely no sync at any point, anywhere in the level. Sorry, I need to fix my plug real quick. Okay, the level has 0 sync. The level has 0 character. There are a bunch of giant empty spaces that have nothing on them. And it's crazy that people even defend this level for a second by saying, come on, it's a 1-star. They can't do much. Right next to Cobweb. Because Cobweb does the exact same thing where it's a 1-star extra bonus level that no one asked for, except the routes are actually good. This level's routes are not good. They are boring and generic, and I don't know how you managed to make the routes more boring than the original level that wasn't even that good to begin with. But somehow they managed to do it with this dumpster fire of a level. The theme change usage is also incredibly terrible. So you're telling me that it goes from dark to light theme, then dark theme, then by like halfway into the level, you're back into the light theme, and then it just stays light theme for the rest of the level? It just doesn't ever change back? You're telling me that the theme just like stays white the entire way through, and then it finishes on white, and then we never get to see an ending to the nighttime theme? Why did it stay on the light theme for so long? The object usage is terrible. Like, the gates are used horribly. Like, they don't use any of those Tetris blocks in any interesting ways. They barely use the slashers from Christmas. They barely use, like, the trees in any interesting ways. God, this level is just so boring. Oh my god! How did they make the level so useless? It's just, this is even more generic and soulless than Starfield is. And I don't know how they managed to do that, because Starfield is a terrible extra bonus. But I genuinely think that Sweet Paradise is more offensively bad than Starfield is. Sweet Paradise is one of the most overrated extra bonus levels, because people say that it's good, and I genuinely have yet to hear a good reason as to why it's good. I don't know like what people think is enjoyable about it. I don't understand what people think is fun or interesting or beautiful looking about it. The level looks terrible. It's not fun to play. It's boring. Nobody remembers a single portion of the routes. The song doesn't sync anywhere. The song is just not really good, and the textures are nothing spectacular. And of course, the level has no original objects. So yeah, fucking sucks. Not a fan. It's going in the bottom of its bad. In fact, it's actually going to go worse than Tropical Tides, because it's just really offensively bad in how much it just disrespects the original level. Anyway, Falling Blossoms. Falling Blossoms is a great bonus. Falling Blossoms is one of the most underrated bonuses in the entire history of the game. I don't know what it is about Falling Blossoms that had to happen for this to become really good, but it just is. Falling Blossoms is... it has so much range in its route style. For example, it switches between a bunch of simple usage of left-right sliding tiles with a bunch of like the alone pyramids and the like paper windmill things. And then it transitions into more rotating 180 degrees usage of tiles, and then it has a bunch of blocks in one section, and then it has the cameo theme for Shadow Warrior, which I really love because, again, the black theme was really neglected when it came to the original 2 levels with Ghost and Shadow Warrior. I love how it uses the original Shadow Warrior gate, the closing variant that was never used in Shadow Warrior and Ghost Warrior. And overall, I just think that the level is really, really good. And this song is really beautiful. This song is like surprisingly beautiful. I don't use that very often, but I say that this song is a very beautiful song. It feels so rich in its emotion, and it just feels like a really immersive song. It feels like it's part of the environment. Flower Dance just feels like a guy made a song with a bunch of Asian sounding instruments, but there's nothing really cultural sounding about it. This song actually feels like it's part of the environment. It has so much like use of orchestral instruments, and it has so much chords and melodies and stuff, and it is really, really good. And of course, I always love a song with a lot of different echoey sound effects that appear once or twice and then never again, just to add to that atmosphere. And yeah, I think Falling Blossoms is one of the best bonus levels ever put into the game. It's really, really good. Yeah, UIL he's a good song composer, but sometimes he just drops the ball. But this is not one of those times. I love his song here. Jack-O-Lantern is interesting. I don't know what to say. This is a really... Jack-O-Lantern is not really as much of an extra bonus as it is of, let's just cobble together a shit ton of Halloween stuff just because. This level is really, really weird. It's a weird level. So where would I put Jack-O-Lantern in terms of ranking it? I guess I'll put it... My god, I don't even know. I'll put it here, because it has more soul than faster. In fact, I guess I'll put it above this. Actually, I'll put football, between these two. But yeah, I think Jack-O-Lantern is, I respect that it tries to celebrate Halloween, and it is really, this is the last time we'll see Halloween-themed levels, so I do like that we get to see these themes one more time, and I do like how it finally uses a bunch of second-floor Halloween obstacles that were never used in Skeleton Party or Halloween Night, so I do like that. But at the same time, the levels routes are just really bad. The levels routes are fucking terrible. They're so empty and boring, and they don't sync ever. They do not ever sync. Vampire Warlord is such a boring, garbage, generic F77 song that no one actually remembers specifically. There's no discernible melody. For any, if you don't play the level or don't listen to the song actively, you cannot remember anything about it. It's just such a forgettable song. And of course, the theme usage is just so chaotic and out of touch. Like they just spam a bunch of different themes, and of course you get back to the blue theme, and it just doesn't even like you don't even know where you've been. There's just so many different themes used in this level that it's too much. Okay, like it's too gimmicky. It's interesting, but it's just not high quality. But I will give it credit where it's due, which is why it's going in okay and not bad. But I just don't think that Jack-o'-lantern is a remarkable level. It just does too much stuff. And yes, it did use my favorite skeleton object for like 1 fucking second, and then it used it in a way where you can only see it for a split moment because you're jumping to the 2nd floor, and then it's just there, but it's just barely used. And overall, again, the potential that they had, well, they could have actually, put effort into the routes, was there, but then, of course, they wanted to be a generic, boring 1-star, so, of course, all these interesting routes were thrown down the drain. So I'm not a fan, but I just, it's not terrible. It's okay. And it's more interesting than Cobweb, and it's more respectful to Halloween levels than Eternal Journey is to the rest of the game. Otherworld. Ah, Lord. What do you think of Otherworld? Okay. Otherworld's going right here. I mean, like, it's just okay. Otherworld is just, the song is really, really bad, actually. The song, I understand it's Mungho's first song, but at the same time, doesn't excuse the fact that the song is just not good. It has no build-up, no nothing. It's too classical. It relies too much on real instruments. It needs more oomph. It needs more drums, more synth, more bass usage, but it just doesn't do that. It feels too traditional. It doesn't fit Rolling Sky's style. I think that this level actually uses the mechanic better than Day of the Dead does, but it doesn't use the mechanic as much, and the object usage just overall isn't as good. I'm also just not a fan of using a bunch of sliding tiles, and then 2 of those sliding tiles out of the 3 of them are blocked off by an object, and the other one is free. I've never been a fan of that. It just feels so gimmicky. It's like, well, you have 3 paths, 1 is real, the other 2 are fake. It gives off Theory of Everything wannabe vibes, and Theory of Everything didn't really do that too well either. And I just don't like levels that have that gimmicky, 1 path is real kind of thing. It's just not very interesting, and it's overdone to the point where it just, people don't even realize it because it's just so generic and infused with the rest of the routes. And of course, like, the collectible routes are just forgettable. Everything is forgettable in the level, but it's not low quality, so that's why it's not going in bad, but it's just fine. And of course, Mungho, he improves drastically as time goes on, but right now he's not exactly at 100%. He's at like 10%. Anyway, Mecha. 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 You know, I'm actually gonna put Chess Fortress like above Sunset Glow. Is it better than psychedelic music? Nah. It's not as. Actually, you know what? Shit, it kind of is. What am I saying? What am I gonna do with Mecha? I think I'm going to put Mecha right here then. That's why I wanted to move up Chess Fortress, because I knew that I liked that level more than Mecha, but I also knew that Mecha was super high quality as well, so I had to move up Chess Fortress. But anyway, I think Mecha is a great, great level. Mecha absolutely deserves all the praise that it gets. The song is beautiful. I love Hookington so much. He's a great song composer. And I love the textures. I love all the obstacles. They feel so unique in their own right. Yes, I just did talk about how I'm not a fan of Vision's like mechanical usage, because we just have way too many mechanical levels. But Mecha at least has some uniqueness to it where it feels like an anime style alien world mechanical level, and I'm a great big fan of that. I also love this AI background. I love how the AI background has so much color and range, and it's asymmetrical. Like a fully asymmetrical background is something we need more of in Rolling Sky. The backgrounds of Mecha are so beautiful. Like, I love the background so much. This is Loki, like my favorite AI backgrounds in the entire game. And I do wish that a real person made it. But again, if it was a real person, I think we all know that they wouldn't have the balls to actually try to do an asymmetrical background. So I'm glad that we actually got this AI version that we have. But I do think that like real background designers need to take note and make more asymmetrical backgrounds like this one, because it really works. It doesn't feel unbalanced. It really does work as an asymmetrical background. But I think the objects are great. I love the assembling Iron Man style mech suits that they have, and yeah, it's great. I love the rocket ship that fires the rocket really far ahead. I love the new appearing and disappearing mecha tiles. Those are super iconic. They've really affected the gameplay a lot in like future levels to this day, because levels use those appearing and disappearing tiles all the time. The wave tiles less so, but the wave tiles are still really important, and I think that Mecha is really generous for introducing those tile variations. What else about Mecha? Yeah, it's just a great level. The object looks really great. Yeah, the routes are great. The sync is amazing. The song is, of course, near perfect. And I think that it introduces a lot of things that end up being really useful for the rest of the game. Love it. Love Mecha. It's great. Snowy Night. Snowy Night. So again, similar to Halloween, similar to Jack-o'-lantern, Snowy Night is a celebration of Christmas levels, except that it's not really a celebration. It's not a bonus level to the Christmas. It's really just a mix of a whole bunch of stuff, and it's meant to just throw in anything that was previously not used enough. Similar to Halloween Night, Golden Christmas also had a thing where they had a second floor variant for pretty much every obstacle, which made that in Snowy Night, of course, that's why they spam a bunch of second floor usage, because of Golden Christmas not using all those before. And I think that it does it better than Jack-o'-lantern, but in terms of its actual overall quality, I think that I'll give Snowy Night... I think that Alone Remix has just a lot more character to it. The textures are more impressive, the objects are more impressive, even if the routes are not... I think that the routes in Snowy Night are better than Alone Remix, but again, Snowy Night is just an extra bonus that no one really asked for, and its usage of Golden Christmas objects is okay. I'm glad that they got used, but they just, again, aren't used in any interesting ways whatsoever. The crowns are really boring, the second floor usage is just, it feels really pointless. Like, you can just have all that take place on the first floor. The whole point of having multiple floors is specifically so that you can have multiple different gameplays at the same time without the level feeling too cluttered. But then, of course, Jack-o'-lantern and Snowy Night don't understand this idea, and they think that simply using the second floor is good, when it's not. You shouldn't have entire chunks of gameplay on the second floor with nothing going on underneath. Then it completely defeats the purpose of having a second floor to begin with. It would be like if Egypt used the button to make an entire route appear before you, but there's no alternative route. So then what the fuck was even the point of having the button in the first place? That's the issue that I have with the second floor usage in these two levels. And Kaleidoscope has this issue too, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is here. So yeah, I'm just not really impressed with what we got. Anyway, after Snowy Night, another thing I don't like about Snowy Night, by the way, is that I just don't like how it ends on this like orange-ish theme. They should have ended it on like Golden Christmas or Christmas Gospel, because, or they should have actually ended it on the daytime Reindeer's Gift theme, because that never got its ending. Golden Christmas and Christmas Gospel got their endings already, and we already saw the ending to the orange theme for Christmas, and we saw the ending to the white theme of Christmas. And I do think that it would have made a lot more sense to have Reindeer's Gift be the final theme, perfectly rounding out the ending that was originally supposed to happen with Reindeer's Gift and Aurora Tor being the last Christmas levels. So I'm just not really a fan of that. I think Snowy Night is just another filler level that happens to be good in more departments. But yeah, kind of forgettable. Anyway, New Year. New Year. What are we gonna do with New Year? Huh. I think New Year is a masterpiece level. I'm not going to come out and say, oh no, I knew it was going to be a masterpiece level from the beginning. I didn't actually know. I didn't know if I wanted it to be great or masterpiece. but I think I'm going to give it a masterpiece tier because New Year is just such a beautiful celebration of the Christmas levels and of course the New Year. And I love it. I love it so much. I love how it mixes the New Year and Christmas together. All the Christmas objects look beautiful. They have so much color and liveliness to them and so much, just vibrance. They look really, really beautiful. And of course, the issue that I mentioned just before of Snowy Night and Jack-O-Lantern only using the second floor for the sake of using those second floor objects and not actually having two different gameplays at once, like how the second floor was intended to be used as, this level corrects that. New Year actually uses second floor and first floor at the same time for two different gameplays, and it works really, really well. I love the second floor usage in this level. It's so interesting, and it's so fun. Like, it adds so much replayability to the level because there's so much going on that you can just play it a bunch of different times and discover new aspects to the gameplay. It's really, really impressive. And yeah, I really like the gameplay in general. Actually, it syncs perfectly. I love the usage of the fireworks at the end. I love the usage of the fireworks in general. You already know I'm a sucker for like visual effects that they add because those always take a lot of extra like effort that it doesn't have to take when you just add a bunch of regular objects. And I love the 2024 firework thing at the end. And I also just love the slow boost as well. Even though the ball is under the pipe portal, so technically that shouldn't be allowed, so they did technically break a mechanic, but it's fine. It's the end of the level. It doesn't even matter at that point. But, yeah, I just think that the routes are really, really good. It's a really nice mix of trick routes and also deliberate routes. And I do like how, like the usage of flip tiles, like the usage of a bunch of different, of course, the New Year tiles are extremely iconic. The ones that slide in from the sides. And of course, yes, they're used in Observatory as well. But, like, the really New Year is the one that introduced them properly. And I just think the New Year it all rounds out the year in a really satisfying way. Textures are great. The music is really, really great. I wish that song composer made more stuff besides Chronos. But, it's what we got anyways. So yeah, really impressed. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. New Year is a masterpiece level. It's better than Reindeer's Gift even because the gameplay is just so immersive and interesting, and it's low-key one of the most replayable levels in the entire catalog of the game. It's great shit. Feels like a 5-star? I mean, kind of. I think Pipeline is it's a 6-star, and it tries so hard to be a 6-star. It's just spams a bunch of sliding tiles, spams a bunch of tight spaces to get through, and it's so obvious that it didn't even have to be a 6-star. But New Year feels like an organic 6-star. It feels like the routes are actually made to originally be 6-star because there's so much complicated stuff going on, but it's not spam. It's actually carefully thought out routes, and I respect that a lot. And yeah, I think the routes are really great. Love the collectibles. I just love everything about New Year. It's a great, great finishing off to the year of 2023. So overall, a lot of people think that I have negative opinions of Minimax, and I do, but I mostly have negative opinions of them when it comes to the quality of the character of the people behind the scenes. Those are where most of my issues come from. Another issue that I have is when it comes to serious decision making of said admins who are higher up. For example, I don't agree with the usage of extra bonus levels. I don't agree with the idea of hiring routers that are simply just friends of you for co-creation. I'm not a fan of adding co-creation concepts at the very last second. I'm not a fan of developers deciding to not even give a shit about one platform but release an update for another and then take 3 or 4 more days to release the next platform. I just really do not respect a lot of decisions made behind Minimax's doors. But that doesn't mean that I just hate all of their levels. In fact, I actually think that a lot of their levels are really, really good. Because a good comparison for this is Disney. Disney is a corporate, money-hungry piece of shit company. Disney is a terrible conglomerate of fuck. But Disney Animation, the Disney that actually works on movies, they actually have a lot of heart and soul to them. Even movies that really suck, like Strange World, actually have a little bit of effort put into them. Then you have movies that are actually good, like Encanto, or like, at least, you know what I'm trying to say. The point is that, like, creative Disney is way more respectable than corporate Disney, in the same way that creative Minimax is way more respectable than corporate Minimax is. The people behind these levels, like Square Root, TSR, Edwin, the modeling team, the texturing team, the song composers, they actually care. They actually do try to make good levels, with the exception of the extra bonuses. But the main levels, they actually do try. And I respect that a lot. And a lot of the time, I think that the crazy ideas they come up with, a lot of these radical changes that other levels have never had before, they end up paying off in surprising ways that I wouldn't typically expect. So I'm going to move Flower Dance to Great. It's going to go under Dinosaur Valley, though. Eternal Journey is going in bad, but it's above the thing. Oh, no, it's going in bad. It's going to go in okay. Above Cobweb. And then Day of the Dead is going to be, what, right below just Fortress, I think? Or below Dinosaur Valley. So it's below Flower Dance, my bad. Sweet Paradise is going in terrible. And Falling Blossoms is going right here. Let's see, Day of the Dead. Yep, Falling Blossoms. And Jack-o'-lantern is going above Eternal Journey, but not above Temple Fair, I believe. Shit, what did I just do? I accidentally moved a thing. Fuck, what did I just do? Fuck. How did that even happen, dude? So, that, Marshmallow Alone. Oh, I drank Snowy Night, that's what happened. There we go. Okay. I was so confused, because I had to look back on my stream history to see. Anyway, let's see. What else have we not added yet? Otherworld and Mecha. So Otherworld is going to go above Jack-o'-lantern, because I do think the routes are just higher quality overall. And not above Temple Fair, though. And then Mecha is going to go in Great. And then Snowy Night is going to go above Jack-o'-lantern. Is it above Otherworld? I think it might be. It's above Temple Fair, too. Okay, yeah, sure. And then New Year is going in Masterpiece tier. Do I think New Year's better than Microchip, though? Nah, Microchip is just a much more like immersive and emotional feeling level. Not because of nostalgia. Even if I compared these two levels coming out at the same time, I would like Microchip way more. Microchip just feels a little bit more focused than New Year, despite being a lot more simplistic. But New Year is better than the other two Christmas levels. And I think the overall Christmas levels just have a much better track record than Halloween levels do. Christmas level is either great or it's just flat out terrible, whereas Halloween always finds itself somewhere in the middle. But I don't know what it is with Christmas levels that allows them to lock in. I will not question it, though. So yeah, this is the final tier list for isolated 2023, and then this is the final tier list for 2016 all the way to 2023. As you can see, Quartz, shout out to Quartz, by the way, as per usual. Can I scroll all the way down? Okay, whatever. Shout out to Quartz right here for composing the tier list. Really great guy. Puts a lot of effort into these, so I respect that a lot. And, yep, so we have these Cubicraft things, we have Cthulhu, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to add a bunch of these original versions before the routers were replaced. But that's why I delayed Season 2's live stream until much later, so that we have time to sort all that shit out. What do I think about Cubicraft's gameplay? I think it's better than Toy Blocks. I'll say that much, but I'll just talk about the rest in the 2025 ranking live stream. I think that somehow, I don't know how they managed to have a level with 40 gems and not make it overstuffed, but somehow it's not overstuffed. The collectibles actually all work. I love all the collectibles in Cubicraft. I'm glad they decided to step out of the comfort zone and have 40 gems in a level. That's cool. It is very cool. Should I make a series where Hugo hunts down every level he hates and kills? Okay. What if we had a character attachments like Workshop or Magic House? We could introduce by adding a hard hat. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I know what you're talking about. I mean, like, yeah, that'd be cool. There's a whole lot of ideas I have for Minimax to add a bunch of different cosmetics so that they can make more money without harming the player experience. But I don't think Minimax would be willing to step out of their comfort zone that much. A 6-7 gem level. That would be a bit rate on the highway. 6-7. 69. Okay. 69 is a little bit too dead. I feel so bad for 68. Imagine your older sibling 69 gets popular, and then your younger sibling 67 gets popular, and then you're just stuck there as 68. I think we gotta like invent a wide scale meme across the world just to make 6-8 popular. But you know, hopefully that'll happen in the future. What do you think of Cubic Crowd having routes from 8-bits and Time Machine? I mean, I'm assuming they're just trying to like hype people up for the 10th anniversary, maybe. I mean, like it's fine. It's a good reference, I guess. I don't really mind references that aren't from birthday levels because we used to have that all the time back in the day. Halloween reference stuff from SciTech, Midnight Carnival would reference stuff from SciTech, like World Cup would then reference stuff from Midnight Carnival or SciTech. Neon would reference a bunch of stuff from one level, or Dazzle would reference stuff from Neon. So I don't really have an issue with that necessarily. Of course, Volcano is like the pinnacle of all references. It references so much shit to the point where it's not even really its original level. Or Technotica is entirely composed of references to TCT's routes. Like I think I've made like the only original routes in that level are the spam Tetris blocks. Other than that, yeah, everything is just TCT's routes. But the point is that like I think overall I don't mind when levels cameo other routes that aren't birthday levels anyway. I love what they did at the beginning with the blocks making the different shapes while making the right easy. It matches the music too. What do you think of Comic Bound? I think it's. I'll tell you about it later because I'll make the live stream either in a week or in 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes for me and Quartz to sort out all the different early versions of levels. Do I like Cubicraft's soundtrack? No. Cubicraft's soundtrack has no discernible melody. It is just a blur of like Sunshine Ocean, and it's a blur of like a bunch of different songs that he's made, but it has no real discernible melody. It just feels like a bunch of slop. It feels like AI generated. Again, nobody can actually recall a single melody from Cubicraft. It is just like it does kind of lock in a melody in the second half, but in the first half, there's just nothing going on. It's just the same drum loops, the exact same synth loops in the background, but there's no melody, and that just bothers me so much. It's like he tries so hard to just recapture the essence of Sunshine Ocean, but it just doesn't work. It's not a very good song. Can I react to some more Gotcha Life? No, I think I've reacted to enough of that shit. Plus, I have a distaste for Gotcha Life, especially since Jetna won't answer my DMs because, you know, he's not very smart. Anyway, I'm going to be that pain in the ass guy sending my message again because you didn't notice it. What do you think of the fireworks charm concept? I don't. I mean, it'll probably get added at this point, but I don't care. I don't give a shit about that concept. The calligraphy concept, fireworks charm, those are just so generic and boring. They don't do anything really original or interesting. We've seen them enough. We've seen enough of these levels with all these ancient oriental things, and adding calligraphy is just like one new thing. It's like adding one object. It's like if I took VR Fairyland and the only new thing I added was a computer on a pedestal. Like, it's not anything interesting at all. I don't give a shit about fireworks charm or the calligraphy level. And then you have the meowing paradise and chemistry levels, which have potential, but the concepts are so dog shit that you might as well just make a completely different level that just happens to be a cat level or a chemistry level. But then they shouldn't even be part of co-creation anymore. And then, of course, you have the barbecue level, which, again, I hate that Trailblaze and Combat Bound even bother to reference barbecue as if it should be praised as some official thing. But barbecue is just a parasite. It's like, it doesn't deserve to be a level. It was made as a joke. It was voted in against the rules by a bunch of bot accounts, and Minimax has not actually confirmed it in its release, and yet people still like want it to be released as a level, even though it doesn't even have a single usable object in its place. And then by the time that you actually improve the concept, if Minimax wanted to do that, then it's not even the concept anymore. So there's no point in it even being in co-creation, which is the exact same point I just made earlier about chemistry, because chemistry's concept just really fucking sucks. Chemistry's concept is terrible. The only things in that concept are a bunch of words. You cannot have a level where every single obstacle is just a bunch of words, like a bunch of whiteboards with equations on them, or a bunch of like facts about like organic chemistry. The only thing that they have is like blocks, but those aren't even really obstacles. And the test tubes are just literally PNGs stolen off of Google. Nothing is actually drawn. The concept was not thought out to any significant extent, and I just think that it's a really, really stupid concept. And it gets to a point where, again, if you want to have a chemistry level, it will not be the concept because none of those objects actually work as obstacles. So then you're forced to just recreate the entire thing from scratch. Nuclear energy had the exact same thing, and Parade had the exact same thing. And I'm not looking forward to chemistry at all. So much so, to the point where I just consider Trailblaze and Comet Bound to be the end of Season 2. It's just fitting that that's the finale, the birthday celebration of everything co-creation thus far. If we add on these extra levels of chemistry and Meowing Paradise levels that have just been shoved into production hell oblivion where no one knows what's going on with those anymore, which levels that were supposed to be out for like the last half year, then I just find myself not really caring about what happens after Season 2. And then, of course, you have the museum concept, but, you know, whatever. You know, Johnny RS, it would be kind of it'd actually be really entertaining if barbecue was like an April Fool's co-creation level. I've always thought that if Minimax wanted to have an April Fool's level, it would be really funny if they have a level and it has a cover, and the cover, like, it's just a regular cover. It looks like any other cover for a level, but then you play the level and the route is literally just the route that you see in the cover, and after like 10 seconds the level's done. Just a 10 or 20-second level that is only the route that you see in the cover. That's just funny to me. So if they did that with the barbecue concept, that would be really entertaining. But I mean, you know, then I don't think Minimax would be the type of people to do that because you have to create a unique level ID for that. You have to create unique objects for it, and yeah, then Minimax would never spend that much effort on an April Fool's joke. Two questions, same topic. Why is there random theme changes at the end of levels like Rain Castle and Cthulhu? Do you think that affects the level's rankings? Well, yeah, I don't like theme changes that happen at the very end. They're just unnecessary, and again, themes should be treated like actual individual sections. So when you have a theme change at the very end, it's not even a section anymore. It's just a theme change with like 20 lines left of a level. Or it gets even worse with things like Lighthouse Alley, where it changes the theme literally one row before the end of the level. It's like they treat themes like they're some kind of costume they can put on and take off at any given moment. But theme changes should be individual. They should feel like their own different environments. So I don't like it when theme changes are spammed, and I don't like it when theme changes are made at the very last second where the theme doesn't even it's not even allowed to have its own individual section. So no, I'm not a fan of Cthulhu doing that. I'm not a fan of Lighthouse Alley doing that, or Out of Control doing it. It's just a really ugly design. I hate it. Here, this completely unrelated, so I'll talk about a parkour game named FE2 where people create maps, and one of these people has made maps as well as like Sis, which got highlighted. Okay, that's cool. Make it the 1-up second bonus. Yeah, I mean, sure. But that was just like I mean, that was their April Fool's joke, but they didn't actually commit to it. They just posted the soundtrack, and that was it. That was just super lame. They should have actually made something. And I do, like, the soundtrack, like the goofy Chinese brain rot soundtrack stuff. I mean, that was fine. It wasn't funny to me, but I understand. At least they tried. I mean, you know. What I think about I I don't know which level you're talking about. I don't care about I don't care about abbreviations. I just realized Minimax did April Fool's jokes for both 2024 and being 2025. Those being the 1-up second bonus and the error soundtracks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, they tried, but like they should actually commit and make a level just for April Fools, and then you can like get away with it by making it like 20 lines long. So you're not putting too much effort into a level that is just a joke. Yeah, just like Quartz, like you just said, like the humor is not my style, but it's endearing. It's wholesome. Minimax jumbles up all the difficulties just piss off. That would be a good April Fool's joke too. If they just randomize the difficulty of every single level and they rearrange it, and like they'll put New Year as like a 2-star. Like, that would be kind of funny. Why'd you feel bad for Jet getting to Gotcha? I thought you hated him because he banned you. Well, I mean, I don't hate Jet 9. Like, me and Jet 9 are seemingly cool because, like, I'm in TIFCO now, and he doesn't have an issue with that, or he does, and he just doesn't have control over it anymore. But the point is that, like, Jet 9 realized over time that his friend just didn't actually give a shit about making a level, and his friend actually gave it to me willingly. So then he was forced to admit that I didn't actually coerce anyone to do anything, and that his friend asked, because Jet knows that his friend asked him to make the level, but Jet said he couldn't because his computer was broken. So then his friend went to go ask me. So Jet fully understands like that everything is a result of him and his friend, and nothing nefarious behind the scenes even happened. So he's just like he doesn't really have any agenda against me anymore, and he's also retired from Rolling Sky, so he double doesn't care. But yeah, I feel bad for Jet 9 getting into Gacha because Gacha is just a terrible like community. Like Gacha is just weird. The innocent side of Gacha are like little kids who want to make animation stuff, but they don't really have the skills of their life to do that yet. So they use Gacha, which I understand, and a lot of the stories are just fun, innocent stuff. But then when you have older people who use Gacha, it just gets weird. If you're older and you have access to these resources and whatnot, and you actually have like a more developed brain, then like actually learn animation. Actually try and get into that stuff. And if you can't because you have time constraints or you just don't have the talent or you don't have the money, I understand that. But Gacha is just a terrible community to try and have a genuine story in. Like Gacha stories are not something like emotionally charged or anything super rich. Like even things like Amazing Digital Circus, like that's still charged with emotions sometimes, and you have a coherent story. But Gacha stories it's really hard to find good ones. And even so, if you make a good Gacha story, you're only going to attract the audiences that are found typically in those stories with terrible writing. So, like, even if you make a good story, it's hard to find an audience that'll actually appreciate the work you put into it. An audience that actually appreciates the animation you put into it. And again, there's so much Gacha out there that it's hard to stand out. So that's why I feel bad for Jet 9. He genuinely wants to make a good story with good characters and good animation, but he doesn't have the time and or resources and or money to do it. But he's just in a really unset it's a community that's just hard to get your foot in the door. So I do feel bad for Jet 9, even if we've had a lot of conflict before. Gaslight District is just weird. I've never even watched it, but it looks weird, and I just don't even want to look at it. It's such an unpleasant looking show. I mean, I'm sorry. Observatory Third Crown. I don't know why you brought that up, but anyway, I talked about that in my original co-creation video. I think Observatory Third Crown is like really, really bad. It's good in concept, but because of that one gem that they used, it just fucked up the entire purpose of the crown. So F118 knew about that, and he decided, actually, crowns don't have to be harder or more complex than gems are. Because, of course, like, God forbid he actually admits that he was wrong and then fixes a mistake he made. But, of course, he was too stubborn to do that, so his level solidified itself as being having one of the dumbest collectibles in the entire game, despite F118 being a good router overall. But that's all I'll say about that. You can just go watch that one section in the video, because I put timestamps for every single level that I do. What I think of Knights of Guinevere, I never looked at it. Don't really care. I guess I'll look at it later. I'll look at Gaslight District later too, but I've just never really gotten into that stuff. Digital Circus, I'm okay with the goofy like cartoon animation because that's the point. It's supposed to be really goofy. It's supposed to be a digital circus that's fake and not real. So then when I see other concepts like Murder Drones or Gaslight District or Knights of Guinevere and it's animated in that similar way, I just don't really understand the appeal behind it because there's not really a purpose for it to be animated like that other than it's just a kid looking product. Digital Circus is the exception though because it mixes that kid-friendly vibe with like dark material, whereas the other ones just don't really have that vibe to it. And I also heard that the Murder Drones finale was just really terrible, so it makes me less motivated to like watch the show to begin with. Other than ranking streams here to branch out what other streams you want to do, I really don't know to be honest, because I mean like I don't really have many ideas for streaming when it comes to Rolling Sky. I have plenty of Rolling Sky video ideas, but like streaming is just really hard because you know there's just not much to do in streams. But anyway, Quidian. I did say that I was going to do Co-Creation Season 2 ranking live stream next, but I don't want to because I want to first post the original Polar Exploration level, and also I just need to look over a lot of those original levels that ended up being scrapped. I also want to look over your level too, just so I have like a good opinion of what they could have been, because I'm going to rank those levels alongside the final versions that we got. When I do the GD stream, I do not remember saying. Oh yeah, right, right. I was gonna do a GD like official levels ranking live stream. I can do that at some point later. I don't know. Just I'll think about it, like when that'll happen. But yeah, I do have a lot of opinions on the official GD levels. How do I feel about the micro percent? I have no idea what that is. Knights of Guinevere is 2D. Okay, well then I guess I'll give it more of a chance than the other two. Are you thinking about creating a TIFCO level? I mean, okay, here's the thing. I'm on a group in TIFCO that we review different routers and we decide which ones are worthy of TIFCO, completely out of bias. So we don't know which routers are rich until we've already picked them to be a router. So I mean, it would be kind of biased for me to already get into TIFCO. Plus, I just don't think that people would like vote me in to be a router, even if it was anonymous, because my routes just aren't really that good. So, and even if I did get a TIFCO level, I mean, I'd be fine with it. I mean, just be whatever. But I wouldn't feel any significant amount of like pure joy out of doing a TIFCO level. It would just be like a run of the mill, you know. My turn to do it, and then next turn goes to someone else. Do I like to lose in Circle? Yeah, it's okay. It's whatever. It's pretty good. 8 lively spreads with the first crown is actually good. I mean, I don't really agree. The first crown is just really messy, and I don't like the glass positioning is just really awkward. And you don't even need to activate both glasses, but if you don't, then you have a even more awkward diagonal obstacle route. So yeah, pipeline and hub have got to be the best duos the entire game. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Question: will you make a TIFCO level? Yeah. Why is Man in Paradise being a drama? It's not a drama as far as I know. It's just that they don't know what to do with this concept. Like, it's either the textures of the objects or the music, and people keep pushing it off. It was supposed to come out around Lighthouse Alley's time, and they kept pushing it back over and over and over again. And I really have no idea why. I've never looked into it either. But like, clearly, it's been in like production hell for a really long time, and I guess by the time it all comes out, we'll probably be able to figure out what took so long to be made. But I think it could be that they just have a cat obstacle that is just really hard to animate because of armatures and stuff related to Blender animation or Unity. So that's probably a good explanation. But it could also be that there's issues with NH3X, which is and Moon of Eden, who are like the creators behind the concept. Maybe there's conflict with them and Minimax. Who knows? But I think it really is just that the concept has a lot of tough things to handle, and Minimax does not want to touch it because they're too afraid. And let's yeah. You're currently one to be an animator, Johnny RS. I mean, like, yeah, I think a good place to start is just start with Blender. There's a really good video where it's the thumbnail is a picture of a red cube around like a white space. That is really helpful. It's like almost an hour long. It has a lot of good material like to help you get started, and he explains everything perfectly. That's how I learned how to animate a bunch of objects for Rolling Universe. It's really simple. It's really understandable. And then pretty much every question you have beyond that point, you can just easily search up on YouTube. Blender's a really user-friendly interface when you get to know it over time. And the key to learning Blender is just to like try one new tool at a time. Don't try and overload yourself because Blender has hundreds and hundreds of different things you can do. But yeah, just like do it one step at a time, and then it's actually really simple to use once you get the hang of it. I dream where there's a level called Fiery Road where it's just a straight line you put in Masterpiece for some reason. And in a way, people are having dreams about my live streams. That's actually crazy. I do remember when like the translation issues caused the level to be called Fiery Road, and it makes sense because Fiery Road, Trail, Blaze, like Blazing Trail. So I guess that makes sense. But yeah, this level ultimately had nothing to do with a fiery road. Trailblaze technically Trailblaze means like the stuff you leave behind, like it's the legacy of the game. So I understand that it's called Trailblaze, and then Comet Bound implies like forward to the future. So I do like those two names. I just like yeah. The compound cover sucks, by the way. The compound cover is so boring. Look at it. It just looks so bland and useless, especially compared to the Trailblaze cover. Like, damn, how do we like degrade so far? Anyway, um, did Archaeology Museum get accepted? Yeah, it did. Two questions, same topic. Why is there random theme changes? Yeah, we already asked that. Oh, okay. Well, Johnny RS, if you want to get into 2D animation, then I mean, like, obviously, you should probably work on just drawing still images first, and like really trying to refine your use of like human anatomy and whatnot, so you know exactly how to draw them at any different angle. Especially hands is a good challenge to overcome too. And then, of course, you can then progress into animating frame by frame and whatnot. But I think the starting point is, of course, like drawing still images. If code never happened in Steam State, how different would Sky be? Okay, well that's a loaded question because Cheetah Mobile didn't end because of COVID. It ended because they violated Google's terms of service by having the option to destroy ads from the game if you pay the game money, which is a violation of their terms of service because they didn't sign that off properly. So then they got banned from the Google Play Store, which was their main source of money, and unfortunately that resulted in the developers not earning the wage that they were working for. So that's why the company discontinued working on Rolling Sky. It wasn't because of COVID. COVID could have been a factor, but the majority, it would have still probably died had there been no COVID to begin with. After they finished all the main code concepts, how are they going to select the ones after? Do they select the concepts randomly? So basically, Thermal, it used to be Co-Creation Season 1, which was those original 6 levels, and they littered in a bunch of little biased last-minute picks as well. And then they had Co-Creation Season 2, where it's the exact same thing. But Co-Creation Season 3 doesn't really exist. Instead, what they're doing now is just a one-by-one thing. So it's like when a song composer has 2 albums, and now they're just making a bunch of singles. Co-Creation Season 2 was supposed to have Meowing Paradise and Chemistry. Those are the original concepts as well. But, of course, they got stuck in limbo, so now they're basically not part of Season 2 anymore, and they could come out at any given moment. But now Season 3, or like anything beyond that, it won't really even be called Season 3, because they'll just pick concepts one at a time. I don't know how they're going to pick concepts. I don't know if there will be a submission thing, or if it'll just be made by their friends. I have no idea. But I do know that there is really no Season 3 as far as time has gone so far. How did Minimax take over Cheetah Mobile? They didn't take over Cheetah Mobile. Minimax is mostly composed of the same developers as Cheetah Mobile had for Rolling Sky. At least it was, and they substituted some out later. But it's not that Minimax took over Cheetah Mobile. Imagine this a bunch of gems popping from puddles going back in with oil monsters staying fake crowns for the oil rig concept. I don't know what oil rig concept you're talking about, but I would love to see an oil rig concept. I also would love to see a war level, like especially like the Marines, like you just said, Johnny, like a bunch of different like super war torn areas. But again, it's really hard to do that without seeming political, which is against Minimax's rules. But I think if you just like take out like specific designs of like vehicles and stuff, get rid of different flags, then you could make a really cool war torn level. I would love to see something like that. But again, the setting itself is like really difficult to create. I think if they had to make a war level, then the best idea would to be put it on like a completely destroyed battlefield, not in a city, not in any kind of town, because then that would easily allow people to attribute it to different locations. But just put it in like a field of a bunch of dead trees, and then you have tanks everywhere and like different rifles and stuff, mortars, barbed wire, all that stuff. But they should set it in a place that is unrecognizable to any specific location in the world. Then you can get away with it not being a political level. I'm making a Warzone level. The music is YOURSZC's Radio 2025 submission. Obel does stuff. Could you send that to me? Because I always love YOURSZC, and I would love to listen to more of his music, and I have never heard of that before. Why does CubicCraft at 40 gems? Well, I mean, again, I respect Minimax for trying to step out of their comfort zone. I didn't really like the idea of 12 gems because it's just so like far-fetched. It's like, oh, 10 years plus 2 years of co-creation. Like, no, that's just really fucking stupid. I don't like 12 gem levels at all. It just feels like a random number. It doesn't feel like it actually like works. It doesn't feel simple. It just feels unnecessary. I don't like the 12 gem stuff, but I do like 40 gems. I think it's pretty cool. I would be okay with 30 gems as well. And I mean, Dino Disco did have 30 collectibles, so this is the first level to have 40 collectibles. But yeah,
Now, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, like, oh no, what about co-creation levels now? Will a bunch of routers just start having 40 gems and 3 crowns, or 40 gems and 10 mystery boxes? Like, nah. Minimax is, they don't really care about route quality, but as far as I've known in the experience, they do actually care about collectible usage. Like, if you decide to use 40 gems, they will probably tell you, no, you can't do that. And they won't give a reason, but they will just not allow it to happen. So don't worry. I don't think that levels will start spamming gems now. It'll be like a really rare occasion. Okay, well, I'm going to actually turn off my camera for a second, and I'm going to open up Obel's link, and we're going to listen to the music together because I just feel like doing that right now. Obel does stuff. Hold up. Copy that, delete that tab. Come on. Okay, and I can turn on my camera again. Okay, let's listen to this now. This is so good, bro. I love YOURSZC so much. When did this come out? Oh, damn. Pretty recent. Oh, I love how you can see the like notes in the background. That's really cool. Like, look at all these, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of song quality that I just love. So much variation. So much stuff going on. So much range of instruments. Oh, this is so fucking good. Oh my god, the style change too. Duh, this is just so like, how does no one like this guy just as much as I do? Another thing that Yandong Wei does is that he does a bunch of key changes, but they always feel so out of nowhere and like purposeless. Whereas when YOURSZC does a key change, it feels natural. Like, you don't even realize it half the time, especially if you're not really into music theory. But he's made key changes in the song multiple times, but you just don't realize it because it just feels really like thought through. That's so cool. That is just so cool. Okay, guys. I can't listen to like everything. Listen to Blow Up the Moon. I don't know if that's gonna appear here, because I know that you usually have to type in Chinese characters, so I don't think this will appear, but it still could, I guess. No, yeah. Someone's probably gotta send me a thing. I could find it on his page. A cup of cat head. Oh, that's Malong Metropolis. What, Blow Up the Moon. I don't know which one is which, though. I don't have a translator either. Oh, it's right here. My bad. I'll listen to another one later.
but I'll just listen to this one for now. In case I can't tell, I'm bobbing my head. Curiosity right now. Oh, it's so satisfying, dude. Blow Up the Moon is a perfect encapsulation of the song. It feels so, like, starstruck, but it also is chaotic in that way. Oh, that's so good, dude. I love this. Okay, Frogby, we need more TIFCO songs with YOURSZC. Holy shit. Then why doesn't Minimax get more of these? It could be that he just charges like 3 times as much because that would make a lot of sense. AKID, I do like Amusement Park, but I just don't really think that I'd want him to come back frequently. I don't want to see him like maybe 1 or 2 more times, but his Rolling Sky style isn't really there. Amusement Park doesn't feel like a Rolling Sky song, so if he did that too much, it'd be a little bit of an issue. Oh my god, the beat change is so satisfying. uh, but the song is ecstasy. The song is just that good. It is a fire song. And see, like, you know what's crazy? Is that like if Minimax had a song, they've never done this before, but I've always thought this could actually work. They have a level, they have the song, and then this is the end of the level, and then they have just another level where the song starts right here. Like the bonus level, for example. Like you could literally just split one of these high range songs in two because the beginning would definitely sound completely different than the second half. And so like you could have 2 levels from just one song. Well, the one criticism I have of the song is that the melody isn't as defined. The melody, like, it does feel really immersive and it does capture the blow up the moon feel, but I do think that the melody could be a little bit more out there. But I do like the background chords make it up for the lack of melody. Oh my god, Johnny, you're actually a genius. I didn't even realize that Hub's melody was Pipeline's ending melody. I always thought that was just some random assortment of notes. Holy shit, that actually was Hub's melody. Oh my god. Holy hell. How, wait, oh my god, that's actually so true. How did I not realize that? Wait. No, 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 no. Wait, what? That makes so much sense. I never realized that. In the same way, I never realized that that vocal loop at the beginning of Lab Confidential said Rolling Sky. That makes so much sense too. Wait. Wow. Holy shit. That is actually, that is Hub's melody. Holy fuck. That's crazy. Wait, no, 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 no. Hub doesn't contain a melody from Pipeline. What part are you talking about? Yes, Johnny RS, I know that Pipeline uses faded piano keys, and I'm very, 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 very fucking pissed off about that, because I like the piano keys very, very much. They're my favorite unused object in the entire game, and they're used for 1 single second, and you can't even see them because they're hidden behind a bunch of blocks, and it makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. I hate Pipeline's usage of piano keys so much, and I don't want to think about that ever again. Thank you. Hub contains a melody from Pipeline? No, it doesn't. Is it in the middle of the song, or is it at the end?
like where's like can you give me like a general idea of where in the song it is? Let me just check the end while I'm waiting. But like where in the But like where in the hub melody is Pipeline's melody? The middle? Oh my god. I hear a thing behind it. Wait. I hear a thing. I still don't fully hear it. I don't like I can't is it in the it's in the build up to the second drop. People are saying it's the make it drop melody, but I can't fully hear it. Wait, yeah, what? I can't really tell what. Wait, is it the make it drop melody? I'm very confused. So tell me the make it drop melody is in the background of the part right before the second drop. Yeah, wait, I'm very confused. Like where what melody and where specifically is it? TDX confirmed it somewhere. I think it's in the beginning. The literal ending. Wait, huh? Y'all are confusing me. I'm getting so many different things. Yeah, I know he confirmed it, but like where is it? Like what are y'all talking about? And also, like, I don't understand, like, because Hub is made by Zounzer, not TDX. So what do you mean TDX confirmed it? He didn't even have control over the song. Okay, well, while y'all take forever to explain that, let's just go back to Pipeline. And, Pipeline Rolling Sky. And I'll show you what the piano keys are. They're really hard to miss. I mean, they're hard to see, not hard to miss. What am I saying? Okay, so look, they're like just hidden. They're used in the most unflattering, disgusting, disrespectful way possible. Can you see that? Let me see if I can see that from my stream. Come on. Let's see. I need to like zoom. It's like taking forever. Yeah, you can't see it when it's zoomed in. Okay. Well, that sucks. So anyway, it's very hard to see because these little things pop up. But let me try and zoom in using this thing. Oh, there's a limit here, isn't there? Okay, well, it's fine. It's really hard to get this to go. So as you can see, just here, there are these dark, faint lines. These are the piano keys. Then what happens is that behind these laser cannons, there's a giant wall of blocks that appear, but these are the piano keys right here. And as I play, there you can still see them right here. They're used only at this part, never again anywhere else. And they're used in the most unflattering way possible, and then a wall of blocks appears and you can't see them, essentially. And here they are once again at the very bottom, next to the ball. So it's really disrespectful. I hate it. It's low-key probably the worst usage of a previously unused object in the game. I have no idea why they did this, and it's probably my least favorite aspect of this level, genuinely. Everything in this level is nothing compared to that right there. That is such a disrespectful usage of an object which modelers spent time and effort on and were neglected. And then Minimax said, "Oh, we're gonna use your object now." Just kidding. We're gonna use it behind a dumpster. So anyway, I recreated the melody that plays in the background. It's the literally exact melody. Well, so Matt MG, can you like send me that melody that you recreated? Because I still have no idea. I mean, like I can hear a thing, but y'all needs to be more specific on like what part you're talking about. Okay, so Quidian, anyone actually specifically points out which part of the melody of Pipeline is in which part of Hub. So like send me like for the Pipeline melody, give me a timestamp for like the soundtrack video of Resi Jair, and then show me the timestamp of the Hub video, and then I'll be able to tell exactly which melodies are overlapping where. My Discord is Horizon Cruise, HORIZONCRUISE, Horizon Cruise. I called it Horizon Cruise because that was the original name of my alternate YouTube channel, but then I changed it to Hugo Ring Reviews. But Horizon Cruise is going to be the original name for that. Pipeline in at 63%. Okay, we're going to open 2 tabs to be more efficient that way. Pipeline at 63%. Pipeline soundtrack. Well, I guess we gotta play gameplay video then. 63%. Okay, so that's the part you're referring to. Now, Matt MG, show me the percentage that it's played in Hub soundtrack. So now I have that melody. I know which one you're talking about now. It's zoomed in because I was trying to show you the piano keys earlier from that. So now I'm going to fix that. Thank you for reminding me. It's really hard to control the zoom on this thing. There we go. Now it's mostly fixed. So, yeah. So, Matt MG, send me the place where it's playing. Okay, 55% Hub. Shit. Hub.
So you want to play guitar, but you think to yourself, I could never do.
Stupid thing. Stop covering my screen. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you were pointing to that part earlier. Oh my god, I see it now. I get it. Okay, that makes so much sense. I was picking up on that melody, but I didn't connect it being to that because it was in a completely different key. But now I get it. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That is really cool. I like that. I get it now. I absolutely get it. Play the video to the end. Nah, it's fine, Johnny. Like we got it. We figured it out. Oh, wow. That's actually really cool. I never even realized that they're part of the same thing. Okay, so SQDL Dev. So listen to this melody right here at 63% of Pipeline. Dun, 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 dun. And then you get to this part. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So it's like slow down, the key is different, but it's that melody in that part behind. So let me play it without me yapping over it. I'm only letting it play on because I love the music so much. The music is so fucking catchy. I wish my face cam was working, but unfortunately it isn't. But I'm bobbing my head right now because it is just shit is just that fire. I love this level so much. This is such a good level. Someone asked me, do I still have the same opinion of Hub now as I did before? Yes, of course I do. I love Hub so much. It's a great level. It's so overhated. And I wish they made more levels like it. And they technically do, because they do use a lot more interesting mover combinations now, which I like. I agree that this is the best soundtrack aside from Robotoy. I perfectly agree. Do I know anything about the 10th anniversary level? I know that the concept is, I was told this by a beta tester, and that the concept is being made by the same people who made Westland and Kronos' concept. So I think the concept is going to be in safe hands because those two concepts are great. I love both concepts for Westland and Kronos. Like, they're really clean, they're really crisp, they have so much detail to them, so I'm very confident that the concepts for 10th anniversary will be good. Will it be good in the modeling itself and in the routes, in the music, or in the textures? Who knows? But at least the concept makers will make pretty good looking objects and themes. So I guess it's all down to the routes from that point onward. A Viking level? I mean, like, I don't mean to be this guy who, like, doesn't care anything about history, but we technically have Kingdom War. So if they had a Viking level, then it'd be too similar to that point. So unless they had some new aspect to it, like, what about, like, a futuristic Viking level? That would be really fucking cool. Like, high-tech mixed with Viking stuff, like a Viking axe with, like, glowing lights on it. I guess that would be a good way to mix the two ideas. Or, like, a magical Viking level, but then it'd be too close to Magic House at that point. So I don't really know how to make a Viking level without it feeling like a copy, unless you mix it in with futuristic stuff. So no, level 84 is not 10.8. What do you think level 80? I don't really know. You should make a stream where you just talk about how good Nick Kingdom is. Am I right? I had a stream where I talked about how good it was for like 5 minutes, and then I didn't think about it ever again. Because it's just a pretty great level. I don't have much to say about it. I could not talk about it for an hour. Kronos, the level itself is alright, but the themes are very nice. Yeah, I think the themes are really nice looking, and the concept is really great. At first, I was worried that the Kronos router would be brought in for the 10th anniversary, and maybe they are, but it's not just them, so that's what matters. Because the Kronos routes are just not great in my opinion, but we can talk about that in the 2024 live stream. But anyway, any other things? How long has this stream been going on for? Let's see. Let's see. It's been going on for 3 hours. So I did predict we were going to be here for 3 hours, which is great. I probably need to go straight home after this. Basically what happens is that, like, I'm in college, but I live around 3 hours away from my house. So I can just, like, drive home whenever I feel like it, and because it's Labor Day weekend, I will just go home and say hi to my parents. I'm actually, surprisingly, I'd think that I'd be homesick, but I'm actually not, and I get homesick very, very easily. At least I used to. Like, I went to a summer camp for 3 days, and on the second day, I already was waiting to go back home. Because, like, I always hate being at home, but then when I'm away from home, I look, you just want to go back. But, you know, college, especially since, like, I made my room set up the way it is. Again, you can't see it, but just from that one shot alone, I have a nice little corner in my room. It's a really nice atmosphere. And of course, there's no obnoxious people in the hallways or anything like that, unlike how college stereotypes typically go. But yeah, college is great. I love college. But again, I still want to see my parents because, you know, they just be like this sometimes. I am not just a chill dude who ranks levels. I rank levels very aggressively. What do I think of Rolling Sky 2? I wish that Rolling Sky 2 was able to do more. It's a shame, because Rolling Sky 2, it could have been great. And I mean, it was great while it lasted, but I wish that it didn't die, because I do like... Rolling Sky is an organized game. There's rules to it. You can have certain amount of lanes, certain amount of obstacles. You can have, like, the level is this long. Everything is organized in a grid. You can only use these certain amount of like things, these certain amount of gimmicks and mechanics. Rolling Sky 2 is just anything goes. Rolling Sky 2, anything can happen at any time. It's a lot more magical and unpredictable and chaotic, but it's a lot more creative. And that's why I think that the two games are really good opposites of each other. And it's a shame that only one game was able to continue on, because Rolling Sky 2 did have a lot of potential to be really creative and interesting. Because it looked beautiful. Rolling Sky 2 was a beautiful game, way more so than Rolling Sky 1 ever is and ever was. But you know, it's a shame. Expecting to be longer due to everyone baiting him. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of learned to not get baited by y'all, and it's also kind of funny because, it took me like 30 minutes to actually set up the tier list and whatnot, so it's only really 2.5 hours of a live stream. But yeah, RSR2. I didn't even realize what you said, pal. I mean, I never even like looked into RSR2, but I hope it goes well for you. What I think of the 57th bonus? I don't fucking know which bonus that is. I'm probably not gonna even respond to it, but I'm curious. Rolling Sky bonus 57. Oh, Rainbow Castle. Rainbow Castle. Okay, nice one, Resi Chair. What I think of Rainbow Castle? I think it's I'll tell you later. You'll find out in the 2024 ranking live stream. If you see a guy named Valana, it's me. I accidentally sent your friend request trying to find you. Not send the wrong guy. Okay, sure. Well, I'll friend you once I'm done with the stream. And yeah. So here's the. Oh wait, let me fix that real quick. So that goes off. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So here's the actual final tier list ranking, and then here's the the smaller version. Yeah, cool. I think there should be a low design to be the hardest level in the game, because I don't think 4th Anniversary fits the best for the hardest in the game. Well, I guess that's what 10th Anniversary can be for. I really hope 10th Anniversary actually uses cameo themes. I used to be against cameo themes in Anniversary levels, especially because A Dream of 7 Years just used them fucking horribly. But then Lov-E happened, and I gave it a pass because, again, it was the first time an Anniversary level didn't have cameo themes, so it felt like a breath of fresh air a little bit. But then, like, then Nirvana didn't do it either, and it just was like, come on, bro. And of course, Time Machine's cameo themes were cool, but they didn't use them to any significant extent at all. So I really hope that 10th Anniversary just goes back to the roots and just has like 4 different cameo themes that we can use and actually, you know, give credit. And I want 10th Anniversary to be celebrating Minimax more so than Cheetah Mobile. Nirvana only celebrated Cheetah Mobile. Lov-E only celebrated Cheetah Mobile. We need levels that actually respect the work put in by Minimax's developers. They need to celebrate their own work. We are done. We are fucking sick and tired of Cheetah Mobile object references. We've seen Cheetah Mobile. We've been with Cheetah Mobile for 10 years straight. We need Minimax stuff. We need Westland cameos. We need references to Chronos, references to even Happy. I'd be happy with Happy being in the 10th Anniversary if it means that we get to respect Minimax's work. Jade Rabbit, Horizon Cruise, Chess Fortress, Flower Dance. Imagine all that coming back in 10th Anniversary. That'd be so much more satisfying than seeing just another level with Neon and Castle in the Sky and Egypt obstacles. We've had enough of that. We are ready for Minimax to actually embrace their own work. So that's what I hope for 10th Anniversary. How low for Rolling Sky was worse? Late 2018 or early 2019? Well, I think the absolute lowest point of Rolling Sky, for me personally, was the release of Golden Christmas. I was not really hyped up with the Alan Walker levels, and the birthday level gave me a little bit of hope because it was just fun. But then Halloween night was not my cup of tea at the time, and then Golden Christmas just took everything that I didn't like about Halloween and made it 10 times worse and added even more issues that I never even thought were possible, like the randomization mechanic. And then, of course, it didn't get much better from there on out for a while. And that was my lowest point, was the release of Golden Christmas. And I thought that the game was going to be ruined due to like this randomization mechanic. And thankfully the developers realized that too, which is why they kind of shoved the randomization to the side for the most part. and they also shoved like a lot of other stupid shit like the Lilliput mode or faster mode, or all that gunk. But I mean, like Golden Crystal is my lowest point, but like still, I was willing to play each and every new update, even when I didn't like where the game was at in late 2018, early 2019. But for Lov-E, that was the first time when I actually just didn't even bother to look at the update. There's just something about Lov-E that just screams like last minute decision making. We don't really care about celebrating the game. We're just gonna do a bunch of shit, take an old concept, turn it into a birthday level with like barely any actual references to the game, and we'll just hope that people start screaming over how amazing of a celebration it is when it's really not. And I just saw all that, and I was not enthusiastic to touch the level at all. And I still think that 2018 was a lower point for me, though. 2019 was less of a, like, I mean, 2023 was less of a, oh my god, this game sucks, and it was more of just I don't really care about this one update. Magic House cameo? Yes, exactly. Magic House cameo in 10th anniversary would be amazing. Would be Robotoy cameo. Please, 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 goddamn it, Minimax. We want these themes. We don't give a shit about Cheetah Mobile anymore. I don't need to see the neon. I don't need to see Egypt. I don't need to see Christmas. I need to see Minimax stuff. I don't know how XP works. I don't really look into that stuff. I just live stream for the sake of live streaming. I don't have chat perks or anything like that. I don't have a membership system either, because I don't actually do this stuff for money. Well, Hugo, for 10th anniversary, I want to make some Chima Minimax stuff. Like, I agree with you on anniversary is having Minimax stuff. Like, we don't, like, we've seen everything we have to see about Cheetah Mobile. We've seen everything. Like, genuinely, someone give me a thing that Cheetah Mobile has made that has not already been appreciated enough by fanmates or another anniversary level that we already have. Like, genuinely, what is a level that has gone unnoticed by the likes of Minimax or the fan-made community? I just I don't need Cheetah Mobile anymore. We're done with Cheetah Mobile. We need to respect things that have not been respected, like literally almost every single Minimax project. None of them have ever gone recognized in any other celebration. Yeah, Minimax just has this weird issue, Johnny RS, where they just hate what they do. They just refuse to celebrate things that they themselves work on, and it's been clear like that for the last 2.5 years of them existing, or like 2 years of them existing, of making levels specifically. But they just don't want to accept. They don't want to accept the fact that they are the game now. They keep thinking that people are clinging on to Cheetah Mobile, that they respect them as the original creators. And yes, I think Cheetah Mobile was more competent and more clean, but I respect Minimax being the new developers now. They are just the new people. They don't feel like replacements anymore. So they should actually respect their own work and stop like honing back on nostalgia that has just been burnt over a million times already. Revival was mid, not really bad though, and we'll get to that in 2024. I don't see any comments, then I'll just end stream, and then I can go eat a really late lunch, and then I can go home. Also, isn't it true that Trailblaze would have had different unrelated obstacles? No, actually. Trailblaze was always designed to have obstacles that reference earlier levels in the game. It's not like Trailblaze used to be a generic, like, meaningless level, and then they added a bunch of stuff later. That Trailblaze was pretty celebratory to begin with. Like, Jet and Denny actually gave a shit. Can't wait for the next stream. I have a last thing, though. Okay, well, what is it? Should they make a baseball level? I mean, there's not really much to do with a baseball level, because in American football, you have, like, the football goals, you have the gloves, you have the cheerleaders, which, like, aren't necessarily even specific to football. And then in World Cup, you have a bunch of different objects. But for baseball, like, you have the fence gate, but that's already from street basketball. You have the home plate, but that's too short to be a real obstacle that actually matters. You can have a baseball bat, but it'd be too skinny to do anything with. You can have a baseball cap, but then it would just look more like a collectible than an obstacle. And in general, like baseball just isn't a very compatible concept for a rolling sky level. I can't see a baseball concept being made because there just aren't enough baseball related objects that work as obstacles to take up an entire tile. But if someone manages to make it work like some kind of TIFCO level, then I'll be impressed. But I've always wanted a baseball level when I was younger, but then the more I've thought about it, the more I've realized that it just isn't really possible to make an interesting concept. Well, if the bat hits the ball backwards, yeah, that'd be cool. But then now you have one less obstacle. So it's just like, again, it's hard to come up with obstacles when you already have two other sports levels. But, I mean, you can make it work. It would just require a lot of thinking. A pinball level? That would be cool. Like a level that takes place inside of an arcade machine. That would be a very, very unique idea. And they could use the basement mechanic as well to emphasize like you're under the glass of the pinball machine. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would lean away from arcade stuff, so then it'd be less related to 8 bits or Robotoy kind of things. But if it was like inside of a pinball machine, that would be a very cool idea. Because then you could add a bunch of casino related things as well, like a bunch of glowing and flashing lights. That's actually a really good idea. A dash mechanic where the batter hits you far. Fun fact, Ghost Warrior was going to have a dash mechanic and they deleted it, but I explained that in the last live stream, so you can look at that later. I'm pretty sure I explained it in the Ghost Warrior segment, so you can just use that timestamp, so you don't have to go searching for it for an hour if you actually want to go see it. Kind of like stuff that would be in Rollercraft rather than RS. Yeah, a lot of these mechanics are a little bit too crazy, but I think a baseball hitting you backwards is a pretty cool idea. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna go now. Have a good night. Okay, see ya, Bonfire. A tennis level? Again, like, sure, but it's hard to come up with objects where it actually feels like its own individual level and not just a partial copy. Even American football feels partially like a copy of World Cup, but just watered down, especially in its color scheme. That's like, and that was one of the ones that has the most original ideas for like a sports level. Being realistic, they're gonna make a new mechanic for 10A and never use again, like Nirvana and Lov-E. Yeah, I know. I really hope that the rolling sky gate mechanic. Here's the issue. It's when they tie mechanics to obstacles in the level. Like Nirvana ties the rolling sky tile mechanic to the gate that opens, but it's the pixelated gate, which means that other levels can't use it because the gate just doesn't fit texture-wise in anything else. The closest thing that it would have come to was Cubicraft, but that opportunity is already gone. And I know that Minimax isn't going to let other co-creation routers use that mechanic either. So it's just kind of, you can't even do anything with that. Same thing with the Dinosaur Valley mechanic, because it turns you into a dinosaur, which won't fit anywhere else. So it's just like, I don't like it when Minimax creates mechanics that are just incompatible with any other level except for the one that they're used for. Have you seen that Rock Band concept for co-creation? I'm pretty sure that's just TIFCO. That's not, I don't think that's actually co-creation. And if it is, then someone send me the concept, because I'm curious. And also tell me how you even found that concept, if it's not the TIFCO one. Dog-themed level. I mean, we do have a cat-themed level, so I guess it makes only sense to have a dog-themed level. I like the bathroom concept. I think the bathroom concept is pretty good too, but I don't think Minimax would use it because it's contributed to by Mama Cat, and Mama Cat is on Minimax's blacklist, so that's not happening. Unless, of course, Minimax just forgets that Mama Cat was blacklisted, like how they forgot Sneak 22 was blacklisted. And yes, there is no official blacklist, but like it's just that Minimax sees people who do stuff they don't like, and then the people working in them just remember. So sometimes they'll forget. They don't have an actual list that they write names in. Yeah, I know which bathroom concept you're talking about. A. If there's a dog thing level, K9 corner. I mean, sure, I guess. Why not? Yeah, it's TIFCO. Yeah, I know which concept you're talking about then. I haven't really looked at it too much, but it looks really high quality, and I'm impressed with the modeling and the texturing. Rock and Rolling is kind of a cringy name. TIFCO has a lot of cringy names for their levels. That's just like a random thing that I have an opinion on. But of course, I'll do a TIFCO ranking live stream later. I'll probably rank it by years and not seasons, because TIFCO doesn't really have seasons. It just has years, so I'll just do it by that. Can you search season 2? Wait, what? Legacy 69, I don't even know what Codem Season 2 23 theme song is related to, but I'll listen to it later. Cardboard Facility is pretty okay. Which has like a monochrome. Okay, well, what is your idea? I like the barbershop level a lot. In fact, I think that the router, Jide, that's probably the best level he's ever routed. I think that level just looks so great. The textures, routes, and music, and just everything just works so well for me. The level's definitely going to go high up when I do a TIFCO ranking live stream. Froggy Nation, no offense, Frogby. I just don't really, I don't like it. I don't, like, it's just, there's not really much going on with it. Again, it's the same issue that I had with the sports levels, where you can add, like, one thing, or the calligraphy levels from Co-Creation Season 2 that just kind of got forgotten about. Like, where you take a concept that is really, really similar to another one, then you add, like, 2 objects that are original, and then the rest of it is kind of just, like, reminiscent of other objects in other levels. That's just how I feel about Froggy Nation. Like, I like the frogs, obviously, but then you have the rocks, which are in, like, a billion different other Rolling Sky levels, and then you have the leaves, which are in a bunch of other Rolling Sky levels, and I just wish there was more swamp-related things, like alligators, or, like, a cabin, or a lantern, or just anything that felt more, like, immersive and unique. Yeah. I like the bee concept. Yeah, the bee concept is good, but it would be better if Beelzebub was in it. Hugo, why did I lose a shield randomly in Nirvana? Is just hitbox issues, or is it bugged? I have no idea which specific section you're talking about, but you can let me know later or in chat. What do you think about Reflections and Crimson? No, you're not gonna bait me. I'm gonna do a live stream on those, so I'll talk about those more later. I really want to make RS levels, but I don't know how people are getting editors, to be honest. Oh, well, I mean, there's public editors, eh? What's your Discord? Because I can just give you the most recent, like, public editor. It's Candy Girl's editor. It has all the way up to Axelo Waltz. This is the one that, like, Candy Girl, the original router of Axelo Waltz, made, and then Minimax fucked her over, so then she decided to leak the editor APK. So now it's public. Also ready for you to talk about Froggy and Lotus's routes. Well, I'll talk about them. I will talk about them, just not right now. I do actually need to drive home, because, again, it's not exactly a fast trip. So, if I don't see another comment, or if I don't see A's Discord, then I'm going to end stream. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my face this whole time, just stuck in this frame. And as for the face cam, I really don't know how I'm going to get to work, because the Wi-Fi just is impossible. I can't get the face cam to connect through Wi-Fi. Then I connect a USB wire, and for some reason my computer just won't even, it will, like, if I open my file explorer, then it knows that it's connected to the phone, because I can open the files from my phone using my computer. But then for some reason the face cam never connects. No idea why that's the case, but yeah, it's really hard to have a face cam working. I like the Candy Girl APK editor too, so there's a real blacklist. Yeah, like, again, Obel does stuff. Like, if you simply using it is not putting a target on your back. Minimax just lies about that to scare people away from using it. But realistically, Minimax doesn't know. They have no idea. And they don't care. They just forget in T-minus 1 second, because people use this all the time. I predict the 2025 stream will be the best yet. Maybe. Maybe not. We have yet to find out. Anyway. And then also another thing that I haven't mentioned is that I'll just do, like, a live stream where I rank everything from 2016 all the way to 2025. When I say everything, I literally mean everything. We'll already have the rankings from every individual stream for Fanmade's co-creation and official, but we're just going to interlace them all together, and we'll create one giant tier list. And that itself will be its own live stream, because then I'll have to explain why certain levels are better or worse than other ones that are already in that specific place on the tier list. Can you send me the Candy Girl APK? Yeah, sure, I'll send it to you. 2025 kind of dropped in quality after Amusement Polar Expo. Wasn't Amusement like the second level of 2025? You're basically saying 2025 is just not good. Okay, see ya, Johnny. Let's see how many people are. Oh, 37. That's crazy. And then, of course, I'll just get y'all one last look at the full tier list. I do in the Canada as well. Well, I mean, like, y'all just have to ask me in DMs because I don't know which people want it necessarily. But I forgot Chieftain, ain't no way. Well, I said it was like the first or second most. HRSP, yeah, okay. Okay, well, I mean, I think now's a pretty good time to end stream. I'm really fucking hungry, and yeah, I should probably go home. So, yeah. I will see y'all later. Bye, chat. Bye, guys. I really, I gotta finish up. I gotta go. I'm hungry, I'm tired, and my family is waiting on me. Alright, and I shall end stream as soon as I search up one more thing. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at all that. Look at that. Amazing use of free will. Alright, goodbye, guys.